What's up, everybody? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Make sure you hit the like button, whether you're catching this live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. Make sure you hit the like button. I already see Sir Tice clowning me on the start time. Already clowning me on the start time. but we in here. We in here. We about to get it in. Going to be talking about Roland Martin's debate and discussion with holy crap. I can Patrick Bet David. Did I get his name right? The Valuetainment guy. I don't know why I all of a sudden couldn't remember his name. We're going to be talking about that discussion. There's a lot of good things that was said there. There's a lot of good things that was said. A lot of things worthy of unpacking. A lot of things worthy of unpacking. So we're about to get into that, about to unpack a lot of that. And PBD. And friggin' Jason Whitlock was actually supposed to be on that show. And we'll get into that. We'll get into the discussion on that, on Jason Whitlock, whether or not he ran from Roland Martin. That's how some people could interpret what happened. PBD said the name of your show is Fearless. You wouldn't be very fearless, or kind of retreating from the possibility of debating Roland Martin. So we'll get into that. We'll get into that. There's a number of things on the table there. So let's get ready to go. And by the way, Sir Tice, the basketball player from Akron is the number one all-time leading scorer in NBA history. I know that bothers you. I know you're a little disturbed by that, but that is the case. And that is true. And yeah, you got to go to bed every night knowing that that's true, Sir Tice. All right, yeah, we about to get this thing started. Shout out to everybody, but let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
All right. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Okay, I had a little mishap. All right, I think I got that. I think I got that ready to go. I had some background noise that I could hear, but yeah, I couldn't hear it. I could hear it, but yeah, I couldn't hear it. But okay, now we good. We good. We good. We good. We're about to get this thing started. I'm actually queuing things up right now. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm in focus as I'm going to be. Let me get one more thing queued up and ready to go. Because we's about to get into this. But all right. Okay, so I got that in the back queued up, ready to go. But yeah, before I rolled the intro, took a jab at Sir Tice. took a jab at Sir Tice. Is like there are people who just don't care for LeBron. There's people that don't like LeBron. There's LeBron haters, and then there's Sir Tice, and then there's Sir Tice. Sir Tice is wherever people just don't like him, don't care for him, the haters, and then there's Sir Tice. Sir Tice won't even say the man's name. He won't even acknowledge LeBron's personhood. I don't know what LeBron did to him. So I had to point out to him that the basketball player from Akron, as he calls him, just became the number one all-time leading scorer. This is my first time live since that historic moment. Since that historic moment, and I didn't even watch Skip and Shannon to see them argue about it. I don't even watch their show no more because they're annoying to me. But but I know it was interesting. I knew it was interesting, and so yeah. He said, "Bruh, did they stop the whole game?" So yes, literally, they literally made it a halftime show. Like they literally they stopped the game as if it was the halftime show and did a whole ceremony. The commissioner came out. Kareem came out to the court. Well, first it was just normal applause, clapping, everybody hugging. His kids on the court and all of that. But then they did, and he stopped and got the microphone and gave a speech. Like they stopped the game so he can give a speech. Like it was that. Like yeah, they made a big deal on this one. They no doubt made a big deal. No doubt made it a big deal. But I'll get into the. I'm about to get into the topic. I'm about to get into the topic. But it's worth pointing out that as far as it means something, him becoming the all-time leading scorer, it carries some weight. But you can't overreach and say, "Oh, he the GOAT now." But it just adds to the discussion. It adds to the discussion. I'll just say that. Like, because the only person, prior to LeBron, the only person that you could look at it on paper, somebody who had good individual accomplishments and good team accomplishments that could measure arms with Jordan, the only other person was friggin' Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And one thing that he had over Jordan is that he was that all-time leading scorer. He got 6 regular season MVPs to Jordan 5 regular season MVPs, and he was at all-time leading scorer. That gave that put his foot in the door of the argument. That put his foot in the door of the argument, undeniably. That there was some things that he did out there that, like some significant things that Jordan didn't do, that Jordan didn't accomplish. So yeah, so it just adds to that discussion. It adds to the debate. It's not an end all be all, not a nail in the coffin. If you thought they was tied, if you thought Jordan and LeBron was tied and then LeBron did this, then okay, all right. We could debate about why you think they was tied, but so it adds something to it. It's like another ring, damn near. It's like it adds to it. That kind of longevity matters to the historic debate of who's the greatest. But shout out to Dolomite. He's saying LeBron is the BW, black woman equivalent of the NBA. Oh my goodness. Okay. We got to hear this one out. Okay. LeBron is the black woman equivalent of the NBA. I think that BW means black woman in this context. They put all the energy into propping him up to this position just to ruin the popularity of the league. Congratulations, NBA. You played yourself. What do you mean energy into propping him up? Like, it's like you say that as if the man is not good. Like you say, like name name how many people in NBA history could say they got 4 finals MVPs and 4 regular season MVPs. How many people can do that? I tell you, it's Jordan and LeBron. It's like to win 4 regular season MVPs and 4 Finals MVPs. Now, Kareem got 6 regular season MVPs. He only got 2 Finals MVPs. You know what that means? That means he was playing with teammates that was good enough to carry the team and win Finals MVPs. That means at the end of his career, a lot of people don't realize this, he was a role player at the end of his career. As everybody, most people do, if you play to 42, you're gonna be a role player. He won 2 championships when he wasn't even, he averaged like 14 points and 6 rebounds those last couple championships. He was a role player. He was like Tim Duncan on that last championship that the Spurs won. It was Kawhi Leonard team. Tim Duncan only averaged like 12 points and 9 rebounds that year. So it's like, yeah, if you sticking around winning rings past your prime, it hit different than winning rings in your prime. That's what Jordan got going on. He got 6 championships, 6 Finals MVPs. He was a bar none, best player of the team, leader of the team, best player in the league, all of those championships. So those carry more weight. Those carry more weight. Now, yeah. So I give Jordan's the GOAT. Jordan's the GOAT, but I don't tolerate LeBron hate. Jordan is the GOAT. I don't tolerate LeBron hate. I don't. I don't think the league just propped him up. I think he earned it. I think he literally earned it. If you prop somebody up and they don't finish with even 30,000 total career points, but if you prop somebody up and they finish with the all-time career scoring record point total, then no, it's not just propping him up. He actually was damn good. Past first player to all-time leading scorer. He got more assists. He got more points than everybody and more assists than Magic. That matters. Yes, playing for a long time means something. All right. He didn't average more assists than Magic, but he got more total career assists than Magic. He earned that shit. Like, cut it out. Dolomite says, let's not pretend like all these slanted trades in LeBron's career didn't help him get to this point on top of all the rule changes that helped him. Slanted trades? You mean like Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors? That didn't help him. Playing the Warriors 4 times in the finals, that didn't help him. So he played in the super team era. He was a super team going up against super teams. He played against the Spurs 3 times in the finals and the Warriors 4 times in the finals. That means 7 times that he was in the finals, he faced a dynasty. All right? Like, nah, you can't. The only thing I take away from it, I got to get into the topic because some people are going to dip up out of here. I should have just did a whole stream on this. Yeah, KD going to Phoenix. I think that's a ring. Low key. But only thing I knock him earlier is like he had no business losing to Dallas. I'll say that. He had no goddamn business losing to Dallas. Just end of. Had no business losing to Dallas in 2011. So I'll just say that. He had no business losing to Dallas, and there was some moments in his career early on where he just came off as just so damn just weak and timid and didn't even want to so he got some mentally weak moments in his career to where it's like, nah, I can't. It's gonna be hard to ever put you over, even if you win another ring this year somehow after these trades they just made. But I don't think that make them a contender. But even if you win another ring this year, it's still a situation. It's still a situation where he got blemishes on his resume that sort of makes it impossible to put him over Jordan. But those blemishes don't prevent him from being over everybody else. So he's number 2. I give it to him absolutely 100%. Number 2 all time. Now, as far as the rules, that's fake news. Hand checking didn't get out of control until like between 91 and 94 where they got rid of it. Since then, I'll be too long-winded getting into that. A lot of people don't know, okay, I don't want to insult nobody, but a lot of people don't understand basketball enough to understand that when they allowed you to play zone in the NBA, that made the man-to-man defense tougher, even though they didn't use the zones, the fact that they couldn't call illegal defense when you were cheating off of your man and overload. Like the reason that so much 3-point shooting is in the league and the reason that the stretch four became a thing is because back when they had two big men that couldn't shoot and they allowed zones, those big men, everybody was sagging off non-shooters to the point to where the lane was so clogged up to where, you know, it was harder to operate. You know, they couldn't hand check you, but somebody could ignore their man on the weak side, come to the strong side block, and just stand there and play and they drop into a zone when the star player got the ball. All right. Or that somebody can camp in the paint for 3 seconds, get out, get back in. You couldn't do that before because that would be illegal defense. You couldn't leave your man. You had to damn near face guard your man. You had to damn near face guard your man. Like that, low key, that's truly how when you look at like how the Pistons and the Celtics from 2008, you know, gave Kobe such a hard time. That was how they was able to just collapse and clog up everything. When Kobe got the ball, everybody just sagged off of their man. And especially if it wasn't shooters out there at every position. So that's, and so in order to prevent people from exploiting the fact that they didn't have to be face guarding a man, in order for them to in order to stop people from exploiting that, they had to put 5 shooters on the court. And then that opened the door for, okay, we shooting this thing now. That opened the door for Steph Curry to just come out and start doing what he was doing, and they gave him freedom to do it. And everybody was like, okay, that's the league now. We shoot a bunch of threes. It was a correct. They made a correction, and then the league, you know, evolution corrected itself. And so there's that. But all right, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get on the topic here today. I know that the LeBron haters coming out in full force. This is my fourth stream since LeBron became the all-time leading scorer. Let me read you one more. You say, let me stop because LeBron James isn't worth the energy going back and forth. It is what it is. People going to believe what they believe. Yeah, if somebody's saying he the GOAT, that's an overreach. But I mean, yeah, I don't, you know, I got him over Magic. I got him over Bird. Got him over Kobe. Got him over Kareem. Got him over, you know, everybody but Jordan. It is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and get into this. This is interesting discussion here. But let me throw my headsets on. So I can hear. All right, let's go.
Cities in American crime ran by Democrats. Why?
First, I will tell you. First of all, it's where African Americans are living. So let's bring up Chicago in particular. What you have had in Chicago is you've had some of the greatest racial segregation, not in 20 years, not in 30 years, but literally in 100 plus years.
Led by Democrats.
No, hold on. Here's the deal, though. Okay.
Now, here this is the problem I run into already. Do Roland Martin understand that he's basically saying that the racial segregation is connected to the high crime? It's like I don't. I'm thinking he don't understand that he said that. Like that in and of itself shouldn't be the reason for high crime. This man is asking him, why is the crime high? Now they're going to get into how you know, whether or not democratic policies got something to do with it. The highest crime areas are 27 of the 30 highest crime areas ran by Democrats. They're going to get all into that. They're going to get all deep up into that. But the fact of the matter is, everybody talks about this and they try to avoid saying black culture, the thing that we talk about a lot here. They try to avoid the culture aspect of it, and they try to look for policy reasons. And Roland Martin is the type that's going to look for policy reasons. So it's not wrong to say that, okay, well, what are these policies? What are these people voting for? It ain't. That's not a fair question, but he dodges.
American crime ran by Democrats. 27 out of top 30 cities in American crime ran by Democrats. Why?
First, I will tell you.
Tell us.
First of all, it's where African Americans are living. So let's bring up Chicago in particular. What you have had in Chicago is you have had some of the greatest racial segregation, not in 20 years, not in 30 years, but literally in 100 plus years.
Led by Democrats.
No. Hold on. Here's the deal, though. Okay, I will show you how Mississippi has the largest percentage of black.
Somebody's saying, BR, can you get King Randall on the show? I would love to get King Randall on the show. I actually reached out to him before. I didn't get a reply. Sometimes you got to reach out to people twice, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 times. so it was like 6 months ago or so I reached out to him. No, I'm gonna revisit that. But yeah, no doubt.
Black people in America, run by Republicans, broke as hell. Explain that. Explain me the highest. Mississippi has the largest percentage of black people in America, run by Republicans, broke as hell. Explain that. Explain me the highest. Tell me when you have. No, hold on. Wait.
Don't spin.
No, I'm not spinning.
No, don't.
No. What I'm
Let's
showing
stay
you.
on topic.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
Let's stay on topic.
We're
the
on
topic
topic.
is crime 27 out of 30, not economic. Economic is a different story.
No, it's not.
But I agree with you that we need to get the financial situation.
No. And you're making the
you
mistake.
Went to Mississippi. No, you're making the mistake.
No. Here's the mistake you're making.
27 out of 30.
Here's the mistake you're making. When you say crime, I just obliterated a black conservative in my show on this whole issue. When you say crime, you have to then say, okay, what is
that's low-key part of the reason Jason Whitlock don't want to debate Roland Martin, because no matter what happened, Roland Martin gonna always say, Roland Martin is gonna go forward and say, I just obliterated Jason Whitlock. Now, Roland Martin is a good debater, and here's the tricky part. When I say somebody's a good debater, a lot of times that's not necessarily a compliment. Sometimes it can mean two things. It can mean, one, they know they shit, or it can mean, two, that they're good at slipping their way out of stuff. They're good at gaslighting. They're good at being manipulative. And PDB, I don't know why I get this man's name wrong every time I say it. He's going to call him on that. All right. Patrick Bet Davis, PBD, is going to call him on that. He's definitely going to call him on it. But there's a skill in deflection. All right. There's a skill when it comes to deflecting in a debate. And Roland Martin has that skill. There's a change the subject, there's a move to goalpost. There are tactics like that some people slip right in and out of. And Roland Martin is legitimately good at that. I still would have liked to see him and Jason Whitlock debate. But Jason Whitlock probably just didn't want to deal with that stuff. He just tried to say that he's a clown who stalks him on Twitter. That's what Jason Whitlock said about Roland Martin. I would have liked to see the two of them debate. I really would have. But we'll get into it later in the show about why that didn't happen.
Is
because for those that don't know, Jason Whitlock was he was there in the building. He left. So PBD sort of did some, it wasn't outright dishonest. It was a slight subtle withholding of information. What I mean by that, they sent him a debate. I mean, they requested him to come on, and they sent him the topic. And the topics that they were going to cover was like policing, various politics and culture, and probably just touch on the Tyree Nichols situation. They're going to be debating about defunding the police and all that. So they're probably going to be talking about all of that with Jason Whitlock. After the fact, after Jason Whitlock agreed, they sent to him something with the format, and within that format, it said it will be a panel discussion. And that email was sent out to Roland Martin and Jason Whitlock. And so when they send you something and they say it's going to be a panel discussion, their argument is that opens the door for you to ask, okay, who will be there? Jason Whitlock either didn't read that or didn't ask. He just was going off. He showed up. Jason Whitlock got on a plane, flew out there, showed up thinking that he was going to be just interviewed by PBD. He thought he was going to be interviewed. When he got there, he found out that, oh, y'all trying to set me up for a one-on-one back and forth, we about to sit here and me and Jason, I mean me and Roland Martin about to sit here and argue back and forth while Patrick Bet David just sit in the middle and referee. And it's like, no, I didn't sign up for that. Y'all were dishonest. That's what Jason Whitlock basically was calling them on. Y'all being dishonest here. And so he didn't want to fool with it. He didn't want to fool with it. He felt they was being dishonest. But Dark Knight Mentality says Jason has experience with Roland Martin's debating or dancing tactics. He didn't have the time for it. Yeah. And I respect that. I still wish he would have did it. I mean, maybe that's just, for my own personal my own personal self-serving reasons, I wish he would have did it. But for if he got any principled reasons as to why he didn't do it because they lied to him, put it like this. I'm confident that they knew that Roland Martin probably even told them that, nah, Jason ain't gonna show up and debate me. So they wanted to get the two of them there. So they did something that was subtly misleading. Like they came prepared to debate Roland Martin on these issues, but they wanted Jason Whitlock to debate Roland Martin on these issues. So they got Jason to agree to come in, and they left breadcrumbs for him to figure out that Roland Martin was going to be there. But if he didn't ask, we're not going to tell. If he shows up, in debates, then yeah, we win. If he retreats and say, nope, y'all lied to me, then we just going to debate Roland Martin our damn self. And that's what they did. But I really wanted Jason Whitlock on this one. I would have loved to see Jason Whitlock on this one. Somebody is saying they debated before the 313 saying they debated before it was horrible. What was horrible about it? Osama Abdu in the building. Shout out to Osama Abdu saying, to be fair, I'm not the biggest fan of Roland Martin. I'm not nowhere near. I'm nowhere near. But he didn't get obliterated by PBD. PBD is a brilliant guy, but he can be somewhat disingenuous on racial issues and income probabilities. I won't say he got like Roland Martin is the type who he'll never get obliterated. All right. He'll never get obliterated. He going to debate himself out of any situation. He could debate his way out of it. You'll never see Roland Martin get obliterated. But there was some moments where feet was held to the fire, and he just he just tap danced around it. So there are some moments in this discussion where that happened.
What creates crime? No, what creates crime? What creates crime?
When people are not doing well financially.
What else?
Your surrounding and environment, who you're around.
No, what else?
Pick up habits.
What else?
Bad policies.
No. What else? See, you're jumping to policies.
But it is bad policies. Wait a minute.
No.
If I lead a company,
no.
Roland,
The underpinning. Hold on, wait.
See, and this is okay. What y'all just witnessed right there. That's the precise reason why PBD wanted Jason Whitlock there. For that reason right there, because he had to walk on eggshells. He had to walk on eggshells in a way that Jason Whitlock wouldn't. Because Jason Whitlock could just go all the way there and say that, no, it's aspects of Black culture. It's the out of wedlock birth rate. It's the baby mama culture. He could speak to all of that. Jason Whitlock could speak to all of that and throw the stats on the table of the outcomes when kids grow up without the father, the statistical probabilities when kids grow up with fathers out of the home, and that's running rampant in the Black community. Like he don't want to go for a gangster like that. So he has to dance around it. That's why he needed Jason Whitlock there. So two Black men could just look each other in the eyes and just have a real talk discussion about what's really going on in Black America. He has to dance around it to economic. It's economic reasons. It's policies. It's this. It's that. And I don't think Roland Martin disagrees with any of those things he's saying. But I don't know why Roland Martin. Well, I mean, let's hear Roland Martin's response. I actually don't remember what he said to this.
habits.
What else?
Bad policies.
No. What else? See, you're jumping to policies.
But it is bad policies. Wait a minute.
No.
If I lead a company, Roland,
The underpinning. Hold on, wait.
If I run a company and I'm the CEO of the company, if the company improves or doesn't improve is based on my policies. I'm the head running the company, the department. If it doesn't improve, it's because of me.
So let me.
What else would it be?
So let me lay it out to you again.
Go for it.
When you talk about what is the underpinning of crime, John Hope Bryant, founder of Operation Hope, this is what he said. He said, "Show me a community where you've seen a riot with a credit score of 700 or higher." The reality is, when you talk about crime in this country, you're talking about economics, you're talking about education, you're talking about housing, you're talking about health.
Mm-hmm.
Show me areas where you do not have high crime. I'm going to show you areas that don't have the same, aren't as compacted. That's first. What you have is, when you talk about crime in places, you then look at what are the numbers of people there. Talk about crime in this country, you're talking about economics, you're talking about education, you're talking about housing, you're talking about health.
Mm-hmm.
Show me areas where you do not have high crime. I'm going to show you areas that don't have the same, aren't as compacted. That's first. What you have is, when you talk about crime in places, you then look at what are the numbers of people there, what are the pockets there, what are those communities, and how did those communities, how were they created literally not over 20, 30 years, but literally over 50, 75, 100 years. Now, that was Jim Crow.
How many years does it take to change?
What are you talking about?
How many years does it take to
Okay,
create
when
change?
you have,
That's a good question that we too often don't want to deal with. He's saying that those communities were created over 100 years. He's basically saying it's tight-knit pockets in areas that have certain problems, and you got black people grouped and bunched into those areas, and those people that are bunched into those areas are going to have certain outcomes. I would say that the actions and behaviors of the people in those areas can influence those outcomes. So I understand there are structural things. I don't want to deny that, but that's why I put the term victimhood in the title. I put the term victimhood in the title. The debate in the circles about black victimhood, because I don't like when the argument is just strictly on some, this is what happened to us and this is why we're in that condition. And I hate it when people of other races are the only ones in the room that are saying, okay, how long does it take to fix that? Why? Like, communities can fix problems. I'm not saying that the government can't do anything, can't intervene, can't do nothing to help a community. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying in general that the actions and behaviors of the individuals in the communities and the culture of the community, like, that's what can change it. That's legitimately what can change it. And like that's honestly where I'm at with it. And that's why I like the Jason Whitlocks of the world, because he's one of the few black people that will get on TV and say that. Most of them won't say it. They would look at everything that happened that caused it instead of talking about what people can do to fix it. I'm getting the question right here. How do you fix systemic problems that the government created? That's where we're getting to that's where we're getting to a tight-knit debate, because I think if your issue and your argument is that everything that's wrong with black people, the government created it. The government created it. And I don't even know how far back you're going, and I don't even know how right now you're going, but you're saying the government created it. The government that did it. Every statistical shortcoming, the government did it. It's like, I don't go all the way there with it. But we will open up. We will open this thing up and have some debate on this. I'll probably open it up sooner.
How long does it take to create change?
First of all, you talking to us about a black in America.
How long does
when
it take
you
to create
when
change?
you have had
Yeah.
okay, walk through 243 years of slavery, 92 years of Jim Crow, and then you get to 1970 when you are technically fully free. You can't act like all of that before did not impact.
Now, I agree with his statement there, when basically civil rights movement, 1965. So I do count it from that point that black people have been fully 100% free since 1965. But that's when integration came in, and that's when instead of black people building their own shit, they was happy to go work for the go work for white people instead of building their own companies and businesses. And we lost a lot of shit. We lost a lot of we lost a lot of valuable things. We lost a lot of valuable things. We lost that spirit of entrepreneurship, creating and building and employing our own people. We all of that is gone. And now success for a black person, now it's you basically, you either get your good job or you get a degree, you get an education, get a good job. From that, you start making enough money to go live by white people, which means those little corner pockets that he talked about, that he's blaming on the government, yeah, they look like that because all the talented black people left to go make money working for white companies to help make. They're making thousands to help make the top 1% of white people millions. That's what's happening. Like that's literally what it is, and that's a big part of the reason why the hood is the hood. It's just that.
The issues that you're having now have to do with not Democratic or Republican policies. It has to do with literally white supremacy and Jim Crow in America. We are still, to act as if we are still not dealing with that. How did housing discrimination take place in this country? Do you know who created it? Democratic or Republican policies. It has to do with literally white supremacy and Jim Crow in America. We are still, to act as if we are still not dealing with that. How did housing discrimination take place in this country? Do you know who created?
Now, this is where he's good, because he laid out a bunch of stuff. He took us all back to the past. He went back to slavery, go tell it on the mountain, and all, and went all through Jim Crow. And then after that, now he's gonna, he was trying to get pinned down on whether or not Democratic policies are Democratic policies failing. Are Democrats' policies failing? Because if you look at all the crime and everything in Democrat-led cities, or country, states, or whatever the hell, he basically saying the top 27 when it comes to crime are all Democrat-led. Does that mean their policies failing? He damn near went back to Egypt on us, and then he brought us all the way back to modern times, and now he's asking the question about home mortgages. Like that's how you spin, flip, switch, get your gallop, and move the goalposts. Like that's how you do all that.
Supremacy and Jim Crow in America. We are still, to act as if we are still not dealing with that. How did housing discrimination take place in this country? Do you know who created it? The realtors. They apologize for it.
Why are you going away from the question?
No, because
Roland,
here's the deal, though. You don't want to deal with what creates crime areas.
You got to realize this. Listen,
I'm dealing with the real truth. How they create it. What you're dealing with is, there are Democratic areas. What I'm dealing with is how do you deal with the historical reality of neighborhoods that simply can't be just, we elected one person and then it's going to change.
Roland,
it doesn't work that way.
Roland, I'm Middle Eastern. Okay, I was born in Iran 10 years. My mother's a communist. My dad's an imperialist. We escape. We go to Germany. I lived at a refugee camp for 2 years. Okay, with people who are Yugoslavian, Czech, Albanian at the time. And they're all leaving for a reason. I come to the States, okay? I'm a welfare baby. I'm a food stamp baby.
Okay.
Just letting you know, my parents are divorced twice in 20 years. I'm going to Glendale High School. I have a lunch ticket I would sell because I don't have any money. I'm 6'1", 130 pounds. That should tell you the fact that we don't come from a lot of money. One day, I'm in the school, and my teacher starts talking about politics. Up until that point, when I think about politics, all I think about is divorce. Because I think about my mom and dad arguing all the time. I don't have a lot of pain linked to politics at the time. And the teacher's going to be a Democrat because she's presenting how rich people are this rich. I'm like, okay, great, rich people are bad. So I come home.
I obviously
13-1. That's the number. That's
dude. I had a whole lot of damn Republican teachers in my life.
Well, I like stats, and the stats are 13-1 is Democrats to Republican. You know the stats. So I come home and I say, Mom, are we Republicans or Democrats? And she said, we're Democrats. I said, tell me why. She says, because the Democrats are for the poor, Republicans are for the rich. So my mom says. You know what I told her? I said, when I grow up, I want to be a Republican. Not because I want to be a Republican. I don't know what the policies are.
So first of all, who's actually for the rich and the poor?
Who is?
I was recently informed that Nick Taylor, I believe, lost the channel. I don't know what he did, but but I think I understand that that's Nick Taylor down there. So what we's going to do is I'm going to wrench up the new Nick Taylor, the new and improved Nick Taylor, and so he could drop the link. Hold on, how do I? Man, I ain't been giving out no wrenches. I forgot how to do it. I quit giving out wrenches. All right, there you go, Nick. But all right, so Nick Taylor, the new Nick Taylor, got a wrench now. We could drop the link. Other moderators can drop the link to his channel in there, or he can drop his own link. Free Zone Lou says you're flying close to the sun. Let me see what does it say here. He says they flagged the channel for a video from July 18. Ooh, the hell was that video about? You got me thinking. I know I got some doozies from back in the day that I probably need to take down if they flagging stuff from 2018. Hey, I may have to clean house. I may have to clean house on some of that stuff. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But go ahead and drop your new link in there. But all right, let's get back into it.
It's for the rich and the poor.
She said Republicans for the rich, Democrats are for the poor. Is that you say you love? Is it true or not?
First of all,
is it true or not?
Whether that's true, statistically, more rich people are on the Democratic side today than
the Republican side. But no. You say who are for, not who's rich, but who are they for the policy?
But Roland,
that is an interesting thing to think about or average into the equation. Why it's more rich people on the Democrat side than it's more rich Democrats than Republicans. That is an interesting thing. I heard someone explain it like this, that being conservative will get you will increase the chance. Okay, conservative people, they don't necessarily take as many wild-eyed risks. They're more likely to make calculations, and they'll make the right calculation that will lead them to success. Whereas the more liberal person is more likely to make a not quite calculated decision, but if it worked, it will be real big. Okay, who's the type of person who's likely to drop everything and go move to LA and try to be famous? A conservative minded person is not going to do that. They're going to say, no, I think I need to do these incremental steps, and then that will lead me to getting this job or this position or having this level of success at a business. Whereas that person who's more likely to just get on a plane and land in New York and chase their dreams and just be, Democrats are more likely to do that. They're more likely to do that. A more conservative minded person with a talent or a skill or whatever is saying, yeah, I can go work for IBM and I can make X number, $100,000 a year, and I can save that up and I can invest this and I can put this much into retirement. And after X number of years, and then in 30 years, I could, a conservative minded person is more likely to do that. I think a more liberal minded person is like, I'm going to try to I'm going to try to do something wild, wacky, and crazy, and build my own shit out of nowhere. Mark Zuckerberg creating Facebook. That's not a playing it safe kind of thing to do. He could have just used his genius, got his career, graduated, and went to work for some company making $250,000 a year. But he said, "Nah, I'm about to risk. I'm about to drop out of Harvard and take every little resource I got and every little resource my best friend got and every little resource they got, and we about to try to build something spectacular." That's a risk taker. So that could have something to do with why more Democrats or liberal minded people are why more of them end up striking it rich. I bet in the middle is probably I'm talking about like the upper middle class. I bet somewhere in the middle is probably more people, more Republicans, more conservatives. But on the far end of the bell curve of money, probably a lot of Democrats, and on the low end of the bell curve, probably a lot of Democrats, but probably more people in the middle that are Republicans. Just a theory, just a thought. He says 90% of these billionaires are communists and liberals. Yeah. It's something to that. That's worth thinking about and investigating. That's really worth thinking about and investigating. But excuse me. But all right, let's get back into it.
You're smart.
No, your mom said it.
I understand, but you're a smart guy, bro. Listen, when I watch you, you're not a dummy. You're very smart, okay? So sometimes John Maxwell says something very important that I completely held to myself. And every time I break this, I don't like it. He said, the moment you learn sales and you learn persuasion, okay? The moment you learn the ability how to persuade, you, me, we learn how to persuade. He says, be very careful to not go one step above that, which is to manipulate just to win all arguments, because you can win.
Boom. That right there is huge. That right there is huge. And that's what you see a lot of in these discussions. When you get really smart people in the room and they start really debating, like the people that are really skilled at debating, it goes from being intelligent and smart and understanding the argument and being convincing to being manipulative. And it goes, I don't even want to get deep into the individuals that actually do it. But I know I saw it in an actual debate I was in when somebody tried to argue that, hey, that men got more emotions than women because they're more violent in relationships. And then I proved that they weren't more violent in relationships. And then he tried to segment that off in a very clever way and try to make that not count because it's not, violence isn't in the majority of relationships. So let's just look at the majority of relationships on whole. So I'm like, so you just tried to get rid of the data and put it in an area where there's no data. But he previously tried to say that, well, men kill more, therefore men are killers, but it's a higher percentage of women that are violent in relationships than women that are killers. I'm like, nah, you can't try to finagle that or try to, it's manipulative debate tactics to try to exclude certain things, take other things off the table. Let's count this, let's not count that, and let's, and then go into the persuasive convincing act. That's when it get into you're trying to manipulate. That's when it gets into that. And so what he said right there was so spot on. So spot on, and you're going to see Roland Martin trying to do exactly what he just described.
I don't like it. He said, the moment you learn sales and you learn persuasion, okay? The moment you learn the ability how to persuade, you, me, we learn how to persuade. He says, be very careful to not go one step above that, which is to manipulate just to win all arguments, because you can You can win any argument if you want to. You can play devil's advocate and flip the argument, play the Republican side, and you make one hell of an argument to beat a Democrat because you can do that. You have the ability, I have the ability as well. I don't want to do that. What I'm asking you right now is the following. Results. Today,
Yes.
27 out of 30 cities
Yes.
that are ran by Democrats are the highest crime in America. That's stats.
What states are those in? What are those states?
The states are different than the community.
New York.
He's doing it now. He's literally doing it right now. The man says cities that are ran by Democrats. He just tried to segment that off and say, but what states are they in? See, he's playing that game of trying to be manipulative because he understands that it is a lot of states in the South. I mean, it's a lot of states in the South that have a high Black population, but it's cities within those states that are ran by Democrats. And if that's where the crime is at, he's questioning whether or not the Democratic policies have something to do with that. He's trying to segment it off and say it doesn't count so he can ask what state is that in. Okay, so we're talking about it's in Alabama. Oh, okay, well then so that sounds like a red state to me. So he's strong with the tactics. He's strong with the tactics, and that's how when somebody is good at reeling that shit off fast and spinning it, they can win debates. And I'm thinking that's why Jason Whitlock declined showing up to this. Well, he was there, but he left because they didn't, like I said at the beginning, they didn't exactly tell Jason Whitlock that it was going to that Roland Martin was going to be there. They kind of lightweight told him. They left breadcrumbs for him to figure it out, but they didn't just flat out tell him that, hey, we bringing you here to debate Roland Martin. So Jason Whitlock left. I'm thinking Jason Whitlock left because he knows Roland Martin is good at that kind of stuff, and if he could get it caught on camera doing some of that spin and put that spin on Jason Whitlock, and then Roland Martin would be able to just say forever that, hey, I schooled Jason Whitlock, because that's what Roland Martin do after he won up somebody in a debate, and he come back and he talk shit about it forever. And I think Jason Whitlock ain't want to take the chance of that, or he bare minimum wanted to know. I mean, there's a part of it where I understand his principles. Y'all lied to me. Y'all didn't tell me that y'all was bringing me in to debate Roland Martin, so I'm out. I understand those principles, but I do think that he just didn't want to even get in there with somebody who's going to potentially just be a spin doctor and talk all over the place and just give some clips for the internet. I think he wanted to avoid that.
New York, Chicago,
No,
LA.
but that's not the thing. The state is the community. The city is where.
What are you talking about?
The city you're in is what you can touch. Every year you come up and you say, re-elect me, I can help.
The state.
Hold up. You saying Jason Whitlock got caught lying? End of. Stop the cap. Explain that. Explain the lie. I put the link in the chat for you. The link is in the chat. Somebody want to come up and be a part of this, particularly if you got some disagreement with me. You're more than welcome to come up and be a part of this. But I really want to know, you say Jason Whitlock got caught lying, end of story, stop the cap. Now, I do have issues with somebody saying I'm capping, because if you say I'm capping, you're saying that I'm lying. I don't play that shit because I don't lie. All right. I may be wrong about something, and you're more than welcome to show me where I'm wrong, but don't call me a liar. That's a big issue over here. Don't call me a liar. Pride myself in telling the truth and being honest. So you can tell me that I'm wrong. It's a difference between lying and being incorrect. I don't lie, but I could be incorrect about some things. So yeah, I want to know what Jason Whitlock got caught lying in. Because from my perspective, there was arguments on both sides. They didn't unequivocally tell him, we're bringing you on here to debate Roland Martin. They did not unequivocally say that. However, they did leave breadcrumbs for him to figure it out. meaning that after he agreed to show up, they sent him the format and said it would be a panel discussion. And within that email, they said you could see everybody who they said you could see that they sent the email to everybody who's going to be on the show. So Jason Whitlock and Roland Martin email was right there in the email link, So there's that. They said it's a panel discussion. The door was open for Jason Whitlock to say, "Oh, a panel discussion, who will be there?" And then they would have had to tell him. But he never asked. He just showed up. And then he found out. So there's fine arguments on both sides where they could say, "Hey, he should have, he should have asked." But he didn't ask. He just showed up and then found out when he got there. But I don't suspect Homeboy is coming up. But anybody can come up. Anybody can come up and have your say on this. Anybody can come up and have your say on this. Let's go.
Listen, I am born and raised in Texas, Houston, Clinton Park. To act as if what? No.
Oh, so then what you're saying is let's stop voting for me.
Texas is a red state, but it's a lot of black ass cities in red Republican ass Texas. If those black ass cities in red Texas got high crime, that supports PBD's argument. But Roland Martin is trying to blame the state, the redness of the state, on that high crime that's taking place in those centralized pockets that he's talking about. You see, that's what's going on there. That's why, it's easy to see what's going on when you're on the outside looking in at a debate. Sometimes when you're in it, you don't catch all of that. But when you're on the outside looking in, listening to both people talk, you could really see what's going on.
Mayor, they're a waste of time.
No, see,
because they can't do anything.
First of all, I didn't say that. Let me finish my thought. I am born and raised in Houston, Texas. Grew up in Clinton Park neighborhood. To act as if what happens in Austin does not have an impact on Houston is crazy.
You're making excuses now.
No, I'm not.
You're making excuses.
Okay, here's the deal, though. See, it's real easy to say it's excuses when I am born and raised in Houston, Texas. Grew up in Clinton Park neighborhood. To act as if what happens in Austin does not have an impact on Houston is crazy.
You're making excuses now.
No, I'm not.
You're making excuses.
Okay, here's the deal, though. See, it's real easy to say it's excuses when I'm stating facts. And the point I'm stating is
that's not a fact.
What happens in Austin has an effect on Houston. I really want that one fleshed out.
That's just an opinion.
No, it's a fact. The state of Texas significantly has an impact economically, educationally on what happens in Houston. That's a fact.
Yeah, but
as somebody who, as a kid, traveled with my mom to rallies and events with the metropolitan organization in the state capitol, I understand.
Did you grow up rich?
Who?
Did you grow up rich?
No, my parents didn't even go to college.
How are you rich then?
What do you mean how?
How are you rich?
Here's how.
How are you rich?
No, here's how.
Yeah.
Because first and foremost, the neighborhood that I grew up in it was one of the first master plan communities by HUD. What you had in my neighborhood was you had folks. First of all, I had mom and dad, one who also
married,
hell yeah, they're still married, 56 years. Who absolutely believed in education. Now, what I recognize is, so for me in my household, what my parents emphasized, never went to college. Then my brother went to Texas A&M. I went to Texas A&M. My sister went to Texas A&M. And so that was our house.
So he basically just said we had a proper family structure and a focus on education and achievement. And that's how we made it out of that situation. That's how we all became successful. And that's how I ultimately became rich. That's literally what he said. What happens too often, and look, I understand there's certain areas and certain environments is going to produce a different result at a different percentage rate. I understand that. However, once you start admitting that, and keep in mind, I'm not making an argument that one person did it, then everybody could do it. No, everybody can't do it, but that's the path. That's the path to get out of there. That's the path to be born there and become successful. So that's why when some people get annoyed when I circle the conversation back to culture all the time, because like he just explained a culture within his family that produced an outcome. That's literally what he explained. It wasn't no policy. It wasn't Jim Crow or slavery ain't have nothing to do with it. It wasn't nothing systemic that got in the way of it. It wasn't, so and that's where I'm at with it. That's why I speak to the culture. That's why I speak to the culture. Because when you hold their foot to the fire, you will find that it will be a lot of people who are essentially, shout out to Hood Conservative when he used the term over a year ago in a debate, but I ain't even gonna say who, but he used the term bootstrap niggas. The people who argue that people can't pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but the individual making that argument is a bootstrap nigga, meaning he pulled himself up by his own bootstraps, which means he rolled his sleeves up, figured it out, and did the work. So you run into those situations. Now, keep in mind, now when I say this, I'm not going to get in the way of some policies if I think it's going to help black men and boys, particularly black boys. I'm not going to get in the way of any policies that got to do that, but that's going to do that. Shout out to Dr. Tia Johnson. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But what I'm saying is that everything that Roland Martin is complaining, saying it's the issue with the black community. When the guy asked him, why are you rich? He explained culture in his household that produced a certain outcome. It's like, it's hard to argue around that one. Really hard to argue around that one.
Recognize is that somebody who is next door or across the street or around the corner did not have the situation that I had. Now, I totally get that. What I don't do is be arrogant enough to say, my sister went to Texas A&M, and so that was our house. What I recognize is that somebody who is next door or across the street or around the corner did not have the situation that I had. Now, I totally get that. What I don't do is be arrogant enough to say, well, I did this. Why can't you? Because I understand that not everyone has the exact same setup, the same situation. What I'm talking about, and
successful black people have survivor's remorse or survivor's guilt. Like that's what that is. That's what that is. We spend more time talking about, instead of talking about the tools to success, we'll spend more time talking about why you can't succeed or why people don't succeed. It's like we have to do that, because if there isn't some stumbling block, some roadblock, some systemic reason as to why black people aren't doing as good, if it's not some systemic reason, then it's like it could end up going to a dark place where it's like, okay, it's something just wrong with us. It's something just genetically wrong with us. It's like that. It could turn into that. But I say, no, it's not genetic, it's cultural. It's not genetic, it's cultural. I speak to the culture. But we are joined by I'll say the de facto man of the hour, because I'm about to treat it like this is a scheduled one-on-one. Drop the link to Nick Taylor. Drop the link to Nick Taylor's new channel. Did you drop your link? I gave you a wrench, right?
Yeah, I dropped it a couple of times. What's up,
right,
bruh?
Wait, hold on, Jackie. If you're there, I RM not here today. I know them the ones I could count on to drop links, but y'all drop the link. Drop the link to his new channel.
I do it right fast. I do it right fast. Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, spam it out, Jackie. Spam it out through the chat. You said they shouted you out. Now I know I Hood Conservative. I shouted you out all day on the term bootstrap nigga, but I didn't want to shout out who you was debating at the time.
Okay, Jackie,
didn't
hold on a second. Hold on
I
a
didn't want to
second,
shout.
Jackie.
I didn't want to shout out who you was debating when I think you coined that phrase. But shout out to Nick Taylor. Shout out to Sir Tice. Shout out to oh shit, y'all in here. Shout out to Patriarchy Strikes Back. So we should have a good convo here. But Nick Taylor, what you ready
There
to
it
speak?
is.
Are you still trying to playing around with getting the
No,
link
no,
ready?
I got it. I
Okay,
put it in
cool,
there.
cool, cool. All right, so what's on your mind? What you got so far with this
Okay,
discussion that's being
Roland
had
is
with Uncle Roro? You know, that's
yeah,
what they
roly
call me.
poly. Roly poly.
Your Uncle Roro. Go ahead.
Yeah, roly poly is full of it. Okay, period. I mean, I don't but he plays the word salad game, and he's good at playing the word salad game. He's good at it. But just because you're good at it don't mean that you're accurate, if you know what I'm saying. And I just want everybody to see, yeah, it's me, but I got a unique voice. So I mean, ain't nobody else they ain't gonna mistake me for anybody else. But bruh, he said, all right, the part of Houston that he grew up in, that's not a poor area. Okay, because you know I live here in Texas. Houston is a deep blue city, liberal Democrat mayor, Sheila Jackson Lee's district, okay, runs Houston. Austin is Austin is Texas's version of Berkeley, California. So I mean, so dude, what are you talking about? All the policies that come out of there are liberal. The red parts of the state is the one that have to fight against that crap. Y'all go hand in hand. Bernard, you and I
Oh
both
wait, hold
from
on.
Michigan.
If I understand that right, you're basically saying when it comes to the government giving out things, helping, you know, basically the government, you know, allocating resources, it's
Correct.
normally basically liberal policies and stuff that's basically trying to get those resources, and it's Republicans they're not getting nearly as much, but they're kind of fighting against that type of government spending, I suppose, to reduce the taxes. But
let me use a local reference for you. It's kind of like, since you're in Michigan, how, and Nick, what up, Nick, and what up, Patriarch?
What's up?
It's kind of like how Detroit has, you know, which used to be the population back when Nick and I lived there. You know, they controlled a lot of the resources in the state because it was the more populous place. It wasn't Lansing dictating things all in Michigan. What Roland is trying to imply, that Austin dictates how Houston gets all the resources, which that isn't quite the case.
Gotcha.
Would you agree with that, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, it's like Detroit versus Marquette, you know, exactly. Alpena. You know what I'm saying? Though Michigan is a red state, with the exception of a few areas like Detroit and Flint and
Saginaw.
And yeah, Saginaw. Yeah. You know, you get Roseville, you know. I remember when Dearborn was all white. I mean, the Arabs then took Dearborn over. But
it's the Middle East. It's the Middle East over there now.
Yeah. Fun fact: Dearborn, the state of Michigan has the highest Iraqi population in the United States. Is in the state of Michigan.
You know what that is, right? You know what that is.
Yeah, I know.
Why? Because I know when I'm in the Detroit area, when I go to Detroit, or like you said, Dearborn, when I'm around there, I just gradually start noticing a whole hell of a lot of them. But why is that, Sir Tice?
Okay, before NAFTA and all those things, it was the easiest entry point into the United States.
Oh,
you know
that correct?
Yeah,
this is correct.
Yeah, and I'm being told, but y'all have it on YouTube. It's showing a bunch of white circles. I don't know if y'all could do anything about that, if changing the picture or anything. It ain't the biggest deal in the world.
My bad.
But yeah, they're just saying it's just a bunch of white circles.
All right.
But anyway, if y'all could do something about it, do it.
I'll let Nick continue, and then I'll add.
No, but but I'm looking on YouTube because I got you on two different screens. On YouTube, you're a white circle, but on StreamYard, we see your picture.
Oh no, yeah, it's like it'd be like that on StreamYard. Yeah, it's showing pictures, but on YouTube it shows white circles. I don't know why it'd be like that.
That's weird.
Yeah, no, yeah, StreamYard gets it right, YouTube gets it wrong. But okay, anyway, no, it was just Sir Tice. He'll probably come back.
Oh no, I didn't notice that till you said something.
Oh no, it always be like that. But you know, you got anything else before I pass it to Patriarchy Strikes Back, and
Yeah.
then we'll get into the then we probably roll some more of the tape.
Yeah, this is okay, but he say that, you know, you ran by the state. This, that, no, all right. Dude, the state puts the things out, then explain to me how you have red districts, red counties and blue counties inside the same state. Because Cuero, Texas and Austin, Texas is 180 degrees out, but both of us are in the same state. In the Democrat ran areas, you cannot deny that most of your crime, heinous crimes, are in Democrat ran areas, whether it's a blue state or a red state. When you get out of the big cities in the blue states, crime goes down and you tend to have more conservative, more Republican ran administrations and police departments than you do in these other places. The facts, the truth is right in front of you. What he's saying is trying to tell you, look, don't believe what you see and don't believe what you know. Listen to me. You know, that's what, no, dude, are you out of your mind? You know, so you're trying to tell me Detroit wasn't Detroit? Even when for a small period of time there, the state of Michigan had a Republican governor that they got thrown under the bus, but hey, he asked for it, he got it. But so you that you didn't have that Detroit changed because Detroit got a Republican governor? Are you out of your freaking mind? That's what he said. So basically, he telling us don't pay attention to what you saw. Houston wasn't liberal when Houston ain't never been liberal. Houston's conservative because Texas has Republican governors. San Antonio ain't San Antonio. Austin ain't Austin. DFW ain't DFW, and Houston ain't Houston. Why do all of them have blue mayors ran by blue administrations, even though it's a red state? Exactly. He full of crap.
Patriarchy Strikes Back in the building. What's going on? What you got? Oh, damn. Are you there?
He must be getting the latest returns of Patrick Mahomes doing interviews at the Super Bowl or something, you know.
Hold on a second. Can you hear me? Okay, my mic was muted.
Yeah.
I don't know. My mic was actually muted.
Okay,
So
yeah.
let me say something. So
Hey, Patriarchy, can I get a bet real quick though? You know,
can I finish my point? I got you. Let me finish my point real quick.
Okay.
So the thing about it is this: the guy Patrick David, whatever, the guy from Iran.
Yeah.
He should have hit Roland Martin where it hurts. Like he should have annihilated Roland Martin where like he should have hit Roland Martin right where it hurts. He should have square jawed him and hit him right in the balls. This has nothing to do with Democrat or Republican, because you have areas like Maine, you have areas like, you know, certain parts of New Hampshire, Vermont, and these areas are all heavily Democrat, and they have the lowest crime out there. He should have said to Roland Martin, why is all the crime in the black areas?
That's why he wanted Jason Whitlock there, because he can't say that.
Oh, okay. So the thing is because I'm telling you, even with the whole Democrat run areas, there's plenty of Democrat areas that are run, especially like in the upper Northeast, you know, like Maine, like Rhode Island, all these places that are ran by Democrats that have little to no crime at all. And so I get the one exception that I've seen with the white population that has like a lot of crime, and I'm going to attribute that to drug use, is like Portland. But even Portland's crime is nothing compared to like a New Orleans or a Baltimore or St. Louis or Detroit. So for me, it really was, you know, I'm even getting tired of like these, well, it's the Democrats, because like it's just a way for people who are non-black to call out what's really going on.
Yeah, man, you make a good point, and I've actually thought about that before, but I don't know if I ever really truly spoke on it. But I've had those thoughts going on in my head. Is to some degree, Republicans, when they talk about it, it's almost like they
too scared.
they say they're going to use it as a stick to hit hit Democrats with and say your policies are bad. Policy. Your policies don't work. Look, and it's almost like they're baiting the Democrats to say, well, you see all these niggas we got to deal with. It's like they baiting them to say that.
Yeah. And then Roland Martin proceeds, and this is just my synopsis with Roland Martin, and just this wave of it's funny because a couple years ago, I remember, I forgot the guy's name. I forgot his name. He's from Philly. He said Donald Trump was meeting with mediocre Negroes. And the thing is this, there's nothing more deadly to black people than mediocre Negroes like Roland Martin. Roland Martin, what I noticed is this, right? People in inner cities, and I noticed from living in the inner city to going to college at a HBCU, that people in inner cities understand meritocracy. They understand if you don't win, you're gonna lose, and nobody's gonna feel sorry for you losing. But then I noticed when I went to like the suburbs, you had a bunch of people who were black who were losers, but could get along by just playing the race card. So when I look at Roland Martin, I see a guy that is not talented at all. I see a guy that's not funny, that's not witty, that's not unique. He has nothing to offer the world outside of playing the race card. His whole audience is just about playing the race card. His whole audience is about guilt-tripping white people to feel sorry for him, to give him something. He's a one-trick pony armed with a racial grift. Right? There's nothing. I don't see anything unique about Roland Martin. I mean, what is he really taking a stand on? Like, I remember getting at him on Clubhouse because I remember you were suspended from TV1 for making a joke about David Beckham being in his underwear, right? And you never took a stance on anything that was remotely controversial. You only chose picking on the white man because right now it's a safe time to pick on the white man. And that is exactly what this is. I just think that there's this class of mediocre, no good people who haven't really accomplished anything, but the only thing that they're good at is playing the race card.
You nailed that to a T as usual, but I will respectfully disagree with you on this. What he knows how to do. No, what he knows how to do, I don't know if obfuscate is the right word, but he knows how to derail and change things and arguments. Like right now, he'll interrupt the point. But what are you trying to say? Like, hold on, Roland. I haven't gotten it off just yet. Let me get it off. Case in point, when they were talking about the defund the police portion in that discussion, and then they brought out the actual clips of 8 politicians talking about reallocating, and he's like, well, they didn't say defund, they said reallocate. And it's like,
oh yeah, no, we about to get into that part.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play that. I dropped the link early, but no, that part has to be discussed. Like that was the biggest. That was some of the biggest spin I've seen. Like that, when I saw that spin, that's what really said, okay, I do got to cover this.
And that's what I mean. Well, I wasn't necessarily disagreeing with patriarchy there, but it's like he's a spin master. And to
he needs to go to a spin class.
and to do that, it does require talent. But let me say one more thing about the.
Yeah, I agree. That was where I disagree with patriarchy strikes back as well. That when it comes to the selling the race card grift, I think you called it, to extend to the top of that, you do have to be proficient at that, even if you think that's not a real skill.
No.
In order to persuade, sell, and propel yourself to the top of the media ladder, to make it to the top of the media ladder to where you're the voice of the people. Yeah, it does take some skill, talent, and wit.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. When they eliminate all your competition.
Good point.
Like they eliminate. The thing is, you're on these social media networks, and they eliminate all your competition. It's like that's what I'm saying. This is no longer a meritocracy in media anymore. The people that are on media, these social networks are trying hard to fight what is coming. And what is coming is people don't want to hear the pro-black stuff has been subverted so many times. people just don't want to hear that anymore. And like these big networks, they're still trying to capture the Overton window. That's why they'll give the nappy-headed woman from 1619 a chance, right? They're still trying to, because they still think that this woke stuff is gonna sit. This. I don't think that this will last much longer. To be honest with you, I don't. I think that you'll always have. When I look at Roland Martin's crowd, I can guarantee you that most of his people are not under the age of 35, right? And I can guarantee you these are all. When I see the people who chime in, these are all mediocre black people. Like I've made this point before. Let's say Roland Martin's racial division were to really happen in America, right? And Roland Martin had to just be around black people. If there was a distinct division, let's say there's some racial conflict and black people have to be amongst black people. There is no way Roland Martin would be leading anybody. He dresses terrible. He's overweight. I saw this man, and you think that these things don't matter to black people. They do matter to black people.
They do.
I saw him with a Houston Astros jersey with a pair of baggy blue jeans tucked into his cowboy boots on his station. Now, black people are not going to follow that. Okay, what has happened is
following it though. But
what type? Okay. Let's say this: if black people just had to stay around black people, do you think that this is the leader? When black people had to be around other black people and black people ran their own media, you never saw people like this leading. It's my Issa Rae argument. When there was Jet, BET, Ebony Magazine, we never saw ugly women like Issa Rae. Right? We only see them now because they can play the race card to other people and they can play the race card to white people and get ahead. That's the only way we see this happening. Why is the way he just got drug on this debate, right? Shows me what happens when he goes up against pure competition. Right. I'm telling you, he's not good at what he does. He's not. He has a group of people. Anybody preaching the opposite of his message is banned from media.
Yeah, Tiffany Cross, or you said the opposite because she's the female equivalent of him and a younger version of him. Real quick, I don't know if you're going to go to that clip of the reallocate thing. I just wanted to say something because guys like him love to point out these anecdotal or exception things. Like when he was talking about the appraisal, the appraisal points, right? He was like, "What? Black homes get appraised for $300,000 less."
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Now, number one, you have the right to apply. You have the right to hire a black appraiser. Number two, you can get another appraiser. Okay, they love taking the. I'm not saying that this doesn't happen. Okay, I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that you're taking isolated incidents and making them you're making it like it's the norm. All black houses. Like he had made a point about why we got to take down our black pictures. Listen, if I'm selling the house, I made a joke saying that I'd have a damn Klan lynching poster hanging up in my house if it made it accrue, more 50,000 more. Because the goal is to try to get the top value, right? Right. Yeah. It's almost like he wants validation. No, we need to keep our Ernie Barnes. Ernie Barnes is the Marvin Gaye Good Times pictures, by the way. We need to keep our Ernie Barnes pictures up and things like that. These guys really just want a pat on the head from white people. That's what they really want.
So somebody said Tiffany Cross, right? When I'm looking at her picture right now, she's a decent looking woman with big titties. She should be on TV.
Well, if you heard her,
but Roland Martin and her have the same bra size, so he shouldn't be on TV.
I never noticed that about. Let me look up Tiffany Cross. I never noticed.
Things are out there.
I didn't know she had a rack.
That's what I'm saying. So like this makes sense, right? This is a woman. Now Simone Sanders doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
Simone Sanders, that's playing the race card. Like that's somebody. Think about it. If all black people were watching you, this is not something like Roland Martin can only get ahead because he's the race card stuff. Outside of that, you're not talented. You look like like the roly-poly guy, receding hairline, fat. You have no neck. You that's how you talk. It's Really, like, listen, he's built up an industry. I respect him for that, but the dude I've never seen him come outside of his platform and win anybody over. I've only seen him embarrass himself.
He's the male affirmative action.
Well, see, as far as him embarrassing himself, like, I think a lot, like one of the comments that came through right when I was starting the show was saying that he said something like Jason Whitlock would have got cooked just like PBD Patrick David. So people listen to him and they're hearing in their mind, they're hearing him win debates with people. So that, like, they're going to come away. That's why I say it's a certain skill to it. If you're perceptive and you're smart and you're really analyzing what's being said, you know he's not winning. But some people do come away.
Tariq Nasheed is actually hilarious in what he does. Okay, when I see Tariq, I don't agree with all of Tariq's points, but Tariq is 10 times more talented than Roland Martin is. Tariq just wasn't given a position from TV One. Tariq is not given the same amount of sponsorships that Roland Martin is. Tariq is hilarious, though. I will say that. I don't agree with Tariq at all, but Tariq is a funny guy. I have to admit that.
Yeah, shout out to GC. Dropped super chat on it. Says the ace of spade is black. Why not the race card? Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who supports the stream. Appreciate everybody who supports the stream. So, all right, I'm gonna roll some more today. We do got to get into the defund the police part of it, and I think he was just going into the housing discrimination aspect of this. So, so we're gonna roll it. Let me pull it up right there. Okay, let me pull that down. All right, let's go.
This is again,
but why not give that story of inspiration to say you can get out of it?
First of all, you say why not? Sorry. Yeah, you
just to give a backstory for those that made it in. He asked Roland Martin, "Why are you rich?" And then Roland Martin gave the whole story. He said that his parents, mom and dad together, been married 52 years. They raised them with a certain principles and values and instilled, the importance of education. Then he reeled off how he went to this college, his sister went to that college, his brother went to that college, his other sister went to this college, and that's how he ultimately came up like that. And so that's why PBD is basically saying, okay, why not speak more to instill that type of spirit of going out and accomplishing things and educating yourself, and why not instill that more so than talking about all of the many reasons as to why we black people are in the current condition that they're in. So that's just to give y'all an update on where they're at in the conversation.
This man
clearly I've never watched my show when
What'd you say?
That
he has a golf polo on under his jacket. I would have thrown you off the show. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I would have never noticed that had you not pointed that out. That's
not an issue at all. As
appearance matters.
Yeah, but at the same time, I've started my show and then just grabbed a blazer and just threw it on with any damn thing.
You have never dressed like Roland Martin.
I dress better than Roland Martin, but I'm not. I can't hate on the putting on some regular clothes and then just slapping a blazer on over it, because I done that shit before. But all right, anyway, I'll hold the L with Roland Martin today. I'll hold the L with him. But all right, let's go.
I'm talking about, and this is the again.
But why not give that story of inspiration to say you can get out of it?
First of all, you say why not? Sorry. Yeah, you clearly have never watched my show when what I talk about consistently are these very issues. I don't sit here and go do doom and gloom. First of all, every single Tuesday on my show, I feature actual Black-owned businesses. Every single Wednesday, I feature African-Americans who are tech companies.
I love that.
Every Friday, I actually feature something called Education Matters, folks who are in the education space, school choice. I got HBCU Connect. So I do all of that. But one second.
But you know why I said that? Let me tell you why I said that. Because you said, I'm not the one that says, look at me, I got out, so can you. That's what you said.
No. Here's why I say that. Because it is arrogant when, as an individual, I'm assuming everyone else's situation is the same. That's first. Two, it's also arrogant to then not actually study and look at how from a macro level. See, you're describing a micro level. There's always, you can always have that singular individual or this person or that person or this family. That's micro. What I'm talking about is macro issues. And what I'm saying is when I look at communities, that's not micro, that's macro. Even within the African-American community, when you...
All right, now let's talk about that, because I understand what he's coming from. The only disagreement I have is that yes, you can't just look at the micro and say, hey, this one person made it and that's that. So that shows that somebody can make it out of there. Of course, people can make it out of there. But if conditions are messed up, it's going to make it to where people are going to be successful at a lower percentage rate somewhere else where conditions aren't messed up. Like, I understand that argument, but when is that lopsided, as far as when you look at the numbers on Black people, it's like I can't blame all of that on the conditions. I blame it more on culture. But that is a legitimate way how he could make the case of how, yeah, I'm successful. That don't mean everybody else is going to be it. Yeah, we get that, but breeding the victim mentality, that ain't getting it either, though. That's not going to increase the percentage rates at all. But that's where I'm at on that. What y'all got? Anyone?
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you, brother. I think that the only I wish Patriarchy was here. It was something I wanted to go over about what he said, but the major counter that he can give is where he show a collection or individual Black people who are working at top performance. They maximize their potential in an area and still find themselves in poverty. If he was able to produce examples like that, then he would be able to have a proper counter argument. However, he can't, and that's because he's wrong in his assessment. The ones who find themselves in that particular situation, who don't suffer from certain mental illness or physical illness or something like that, and you're working to your full potential, you tend to do okay. And that's something that he can't really get past. That's you can't really claim that there is something holding people back when that thing that's holding you back is yourself and your culture, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
he has to do those shows that he described. I agree with everything GC just said. He has to do those shows that he described, or else he'd be accused of, you always talking about doom and gloom, as he says. But part of his, this word is getting really popular now, but it fits him to a T. Part of his grip is he has to point out these so-called inequities because it keeps him in business or what have you. Okay, he has to point. He and his exact. By the way, the burden of proof for a lot of his audience is very low. So he doesn't have to get into the details that Game Changer was just trying to describe. He can just say, it's because, or basically what he's telling you is that he's an exception, even though everything that Whitlock was criticized for a week ago about the importance of family, he described about his very upbringing, which should be obvious, but I guess you can't say this in front of Blackistan, the nuclear family is important, because then you'll get all the, well, I know somebody who came from a single mother or whatever, and they succeeded, or I know somebody who married and they still end up in jail. We love to make those exception type of arguments.
And what's worse is the exception argument really, thumbs his nose at the Whitey holding me down argument. It's like, wait a minute, you just said that somebody who's successful and they came from, single mother households. So you can say that you can become successful in the face of white supremacy and, this systemic racism that you complain about. So, yeah, they really run into contradictions. And I came up because I do definitely agree with Patriarchy when he was talking about the way he dressed. that is deplorable, and it really shows that you're not really operating at peak performance in your craft. You are a visible person, and you should focus on how you are seen. I mean, I'm not a snazzy dresser or anything. I'm no, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. However, I'm not a broadcaster. I'm not in this particular position in life. What he's doing is he just threw something on, and he does it quite often. That's, you're basically saying that I'm not the best, but I still made it. So how can you then say that something is holding me back when you're getting more and doing less than others?
Well, I mean, he's not competed. I mean, okay, image matters. I get it, but he didn't make it as a fashion as a gold medal in the Fashion Olympics. He made it as a news broadcaster, journalist, social commentator, black victimhood salesman. I don't know, but
I get it, but that's a part of it, though. Like the way you dress, your appearance, maintaining your appearance is a part of the occupation, which is why everybody else in every other race is doing that. I mean, like, there isn't a Ron Jeremy up there. Like, I mean, I could see if that was his profession, or a Tom Likas, or any other one of those slimy, badass white boys. They're not making it in this particular field. The fact that he is really says, like, okay, we opened up a lane just for you, and we're not going to hold you to the same criteria as the others. Like, what he's doing just reeks of affirmative action. And be perfectly honest with you.
Oh my goodness!
No. I made a joke saying that this dude is an affirmative action hire, basically, in his scenario. I mean, no, real talk. Think about it. What other black man on TV looks like this? No. Even when he was on CNN, think about that. You think of the great Bernard Shaw. I think he's passed along, so rest in peace. Let's think Juan Williams. Chat, help me out with some of the national black broadcaster who looks like this. That's rotund, overweight. I'm trying to think of another.
Yeah, like Don Lemon.
No, not even Don Lemon, sissy ass. Okay,
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's basically sending a message that I don't have to make the same effort towards physical appearance, both health and attire. I don't have to make the same effort as everybody else because I'm going to make it anyway. Which I hate to say it, that really reeks affirmative.
Yeah, so you're basically saying, well, it could be him saying, I don't gotta take the time to look good. I'm gonna take time to look good for you niggas. But anyway,
talking about his appearance, they'll say we're being petty. So can we let him be petty himself and let him basically talk himself into a hole and get to that allocation?
I was just about to wrap it up because I had literally nothing else to say about his appearance. I mean, I think we talked about it for 5 minutes too long, but that's where I'm at with it. But
I ain't gonna say nothing about his appearance. I'm not.
I am. I mean, in a very
that's cool.
No, GC, we done. I know you said it already. We gonna move on. All right, we gonna move on. He got a big ass head, dude. I just say that his head big as hell. Other than that, let's move on.
Shout out to Checkmate in the audience who named the top 5 race hustlers. But I'm gonna add this guy also, Dr. Richard Ritchie. He basically
he's a newcomer. I just been I'm he new to the party, as far as I'm concerned. Where is that post of the top 5? Where that post?
Let's see, top 5, like it's a rap thing, right? We got obviously Al Sharpton.
No, who said it? You said what's the name?
Checkmate.
All right. Oh wait, no. Okay, she clicked on it. Okay, hold on.
Boyce went on a rant a couple of days ago that was just epic in how he used false equivalencies and all of this. I mean, he went into how the Super Bowl got 2 black quarterbacks, and that's just a satisfying to y'all. I mean, it was an exercise of futility, and I'm like, I can't believe
who did that.
Boyce.
He was saying that the Super Bowl got 2 black quarterbacks, and somebody
y'all just happy because there's 2 black quarterbacks and not knowing about the struggle and all this. And I'm like, oh my god, this guy.
Well, how How many Oriental quarterbacks to the Super Bowl?
Right.
No, he's never seen an Asian. I don't even know if it's one single Asian in the NFL.
Oriental.
I don't know the politics or the genetics of what makes somebody Oriental or not. But so we're gonna roll the tape. We're gonna roll the tape. Let's roll
it. When you dealt with Jim Crow, you couldn't live anywhere else. You literally could not live anywhere else. Bottom line is, if you were black and had money, and then you were black and broke, you were literally living in the same neighborhood. After Jim Crow ends with integration, what then happened? Those African Americans who were middle class, upper middle class, began to move away. What then began to happen was you had areas where poverty increased even more so.
Why move away though? Why move away?
Because
if you care about the community, why not stay there and change it?
Well,
why do people of other races have to say that to pro-blacks? Am I missing something? Now I can see if you were like, oh, forget the community, I'm an individual, I'm out of here, whatever. I get that, but if you have a pro-black ideology, somebody of a different race shouldn't have to say that to you. Am I missing something? If we following internal logic, if we following this man's internal logic, he's basically saying that the people who were successful, the people who were successful when things were segregated, desegregation happened, they moved and they left, and that just left basically just a cesspool of poor black people, and all the black people that had money sprinkled off, got spread out into other communities. All right.
He doesn't recognize that when he makes that statement, how demeaning that is to black people. It's basically saying that you po ass motherfuckers are so stupid you can't do anything for yourselves, and this is why you kill each other. As if he was trying to make the argument that being poor causes crime, right? And that argument has been disproven plenty of times,
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, some would argue that it hasn't. So, like, okay, how has that been disproven? That
really
that poverty. Break it down for those that don't know.
We can point to name two of the poorest white states in the union. I can easily break this down, but I can also get into statistics. But number one is Kentucky, right? Okay. Are they doing drive-bys and all that stuff in Kentucky at the same rate that they're doing it in Chicago, Detroit, etc.? No. Okay, so it's about the culture that's around this. We can go to Asians or various Asians, Laotians, for example, in Minnesota. I'm sorry, they're called Hmong. But they're from Laos, so they're very poor. They're not killing each other in that sense, what have you. So it's not that.
It's a lot of Asian countries and stuff I'll be forgetting the geographics of how it exactly work, but like even let's just say the Philippines, okay, they're poor over there. Some of the women don't even have all the household appliances, and people are doing drive-bys and stuff.
Okay, and then also,
sorry,
we can point to our very own selves, and this is for Glitter in the comments. We can point to our very own selves post the Depression up until the Civil Rights Movement, when we had obviously a more stable, intact family, and we weren't necessarily high on the economic chain. We weren't killing each other's. Okay, so there you have it. And this is documented by statistics where we had the lowest incarceration rate at one point in this country, if you can believe that. So it's clearly a culture thing.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough. I'm forgetting what he okay, let me just back up like 5 seconds.
Is where poverty increased even more so.
Why move away though? Why move away?
Because
if you care about the community, why not stay there and change it?
Well, first of all, does anybody else move?
What do you mean?
Who the hell else don't move? How do you think suburbs were created?
But wait a minute.
What do you mean? How do you think white flight was created?
But
so everybody else get to move, but we can't move.
But if you act like you care about the community as much as you do, stay there.
But I'll answer your question.
He said he hit him with it. If you act like you care about it, why not stay there? Or you would think that it'd be enough middle or upper middle class black people to where it'd be a lot of places where they have coalesced together. If I mean they can't stand white people so much, you'd think that it'll be, you know, it'll be more neighborhoods that are middle and upper middle class and predominantly black. You'll think it would be more of that, and then we'll be looking at, you know, okay, yeah, it's a black hood over there, but then there's black suburbs over there. That would actually make sense. But seeing as you don't have, you know, a lot of black suburbs, you just got black people sprinkled around into white neighborhoods, and then a ghetto over there. It's like, yeah, I mean, I think his line of questioning is fair. His line of questioning is fair if you follow the internal logic of what he's saying, what Roland Martin is saying. If you follow his internal logic, it does basically say that it does logically follow that if y'all want to change this thing, yeah, see the problem there, but you left it, you got out of Dodge, and what are you doing to fix it, or why didn't you stay there and work and build it up to whatever you think it need to be? You could get the hell out of Dodge, but want to basically, it's almost like you got the hell out of Dodge, but want to complain and pander to the people that's there about how disenfranchised they are. So that's pretty much the game.
Do you know why? Because when African Americans were living in black neighborhoods, they also had economically depressed housing values. And the reality is they were not able to
help change it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
I'll give you an idea. Are you familiar with Palmdale?
I'm going to need you to be drug tested. Seriously.
Yeah.
Do you even know today we've done the stories in Florida?
Hold on, I know this is getting to part that Sir Tice wanted to get into. I got to point out that if he's saying that people left because the property value was lower there, I get people leaving. Hell, I would go buy a house wherever I could, you know, get the most bang for my buck. But
the property value is going up.
What you say?
I said gentrification exists because the property value is going up.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
Roland Martin don't live in the hood.
Yeah, but
he don't live nowhere near the hood.
I know, but he's asking, why do people leave out? The people who are talented, who got skilled, and they got money. It seems like you would just try. Well,
he can answer that question himself because that's what he did.
Yeah,
he's not going to answer that question because he don't want to say the reason why he did. And the reason why he did is the reason why most everybody do. And the answer, quite frankly, and I think we all know this, but don't want to say it, is niggas. Niggas is the reason that black people leave the hood. Now, they don't want to let white people know that niggas exist, but yes, niggas exist. You know, and they're a major deterrent from anything, and including living in a certain area. But yeah, absolutely, niggas is the reason that black people leave.
Hey, let me ask you something real quick, because you're in California and you grew up there your whole life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a good example for this question. Have you ever heard in your life white people advocate for their trailer park brethren?
No.
Yet they want black people to do the equivalent. I shouldn't say people want black people to do the equivalent. The reason I was just saying, because in California, you're from the Bay Area, I believe, they think everybody looks out for each other. But
hold on, Sir Tice. I don't think it's that he want black people to do the equivalent. I think it's more so he is saying, based off the internal logic of the words that are coming out of your mouth, it seems like you would stay there and be trying to work on it and fix it. White people aren't talking about how oppressed and disenfranchised the trailer park is. They spend more time talking about how the middle class is shrinking and stuff like that. They may spend some time talking about how the path from going from middle class to upper middle class, or upper middle to upper class is harder now because of X, Y, and Z. But they not just focused on the trailer. They understand that it's going to be a portion of people in the trailer. But with when you listen to a lot of the pro-blacks talk, their focus is on the hood. So
Right.
I think you can legitimately hold his feet to the fire on like, look, if this is a problem, it's a lot of skilled, talented Black people with millions of dollars that could do a lot to move the needle on a lot of the stuff y'all complaining about. In addition to lobbying the government for whatever you think the government should be doing as well. So
well, I mean, there's two things at play. There's the nigga problem, and then there's the there is a separate problem that Roland Martin could be focused on, and that is a lot of Black people, a lot of Black youths don't have the opportunity to maximize their potential. And I think that is definitely something that he can address if he still wants to speak on race issues, but this whole avoiding the fact that a lot of our problems is cultural really it's a blind spot for him. It's an Achilles heel that allows people like him to just completely destroy him. I mean, right now he's using hyperbole to try to deflect from the fact that he's definitely losing this debate, and he's actually trying to trigger the guy. It's none of which is working. This is kind of bad.
All right. Thank you, Jackie Jack, for the super chat. Thank you, Freedman's Journal, for dropping the heavy-handed $50 super chat on it. Where's I'm trying to drop a Thank you. Did I say free? I think I said J. Freeman Blackman. I think I said Freedman's Journal.
Yeah, that's what you said.
yeah. The Freeman in there made me say the wrong name. J. Freeman Blackman. Why y'all could correct me? Y'all could cut me off when y'all see me saying something incorrect. But
show, I ain't gonna cut you off.
No. By all means, if I say 1 + 1 is 3, by all means, cut me off. But but J. Freeman Blackman, one of my biggest supporters, came through hard and heavy-handed with a $50 super chat. Do appreciate that. The Clue Channel in the building. The Clue Channel in the building says Roland's voice gets higher when PBD puts the grift at risk every time. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Who else we got in here? Bernie. Shout out to Bernie 7044 in the building with a $10 super chat. Do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who support the stream. Let's get back into it. It's actually getting to the good part now.
When somebody's Black selling their house, the appraisers will come in and literally give them a value $100,000 to $300,000 less because they're Black. You know that's actually happened, right?
You'll take one story and say that.
Oh my God!
On how many occasions has that happened?
Are you serious?
Do you think a message like
why don't you go ahead and Google? Why don't you go ahead and Google?
How many times has that happened? No, I believe it's happened, but how many times has that happened?
The New York Times literally just did a story talking about the systemic racism that exists within housing appraisals. This is a fundamental problem. I'm trying to see you.
All right. Now, there's a reason. Okay, it's a few things at play here. One, if you're talking about the hood, it's a reason why property value is lower in the hood. All right.
Yeah.
Then there's Then there's the issue of it's tax reasons, all that. Then there's then there's the issue of, and we could tease this one out. We've talked about this on the show, but we could try to get down to the bottom of it a little more. When it comes to, like they say, there's times when people try to sell a house, the appraiser come through, and a house that should be worth $500,000, it gets it gets appraised at $350,000 or something like that. When there's Black people there, then when they if they get another appraiser and they take down all the the dashiki and African memorabilia, the red, black, and green flag or whatever, put up some pictures of some smiling white folks, then it gets appraised higher. Now, and I'm mad I didn't deep dive research this before we got started, because it's normally some nuance in there. I've had people that kind of do that for a living, that that basically appraise houses for a living on here, and they say that sometimes you do have to go through multiple appraisers before you get what you want. Different people appraise houses at different values and all kind of stuff like that. But Sir Tice, I think you was kind of chomping at the bit. Well, no, it was the defund the police part that you wanted to jump in, but I know you had mentioned this part too. But what's your overall thoughts on that? Because like Roland Martin is presenting it as it's a universal thing that is preventing Black wealth from growing the way that it needs to. Versus, and then Patrick David is basically saying you're taking isolated incidents. Who's more accurate on that front right there? Tice, Nick, GC.
I'm here. Hey, I was going to make a comment, but I was going to wait on him to make
his.
Well,
no, you got it now. I don't know where Tice muted. So go ahead.
Oh, bruh. I'm quite sure all of us here are pretty much football guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Wrong.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, 1 out of 4. So the odds are in my favor. Roland Martin, everybody remember when Denver Broncos had Terrell Davis, then he left, then they plugged in the next guy, Clint Porter, then they plug in the next guy, CJ Anderson. Otis, and people like, wow.
Oh, you're good.
Where are they turning out all these running backs? They know what they did, know what they discounted? The offensive line. The offensive line, because every last one of them, when they left Denver and got traded to another team, they stunk. So I mean, I played football.
It's so much truth in like as much, I remember I like Terrell Davis. I mean,
I like them all, but
I never saw him like juke anybody out in the open field.
No, they never got to touch him until he got to the second level.
Yeah, he hit that hole. He hit that hole.
Monster offensive line. That's
shout
Roland.
Shout out to Emmitt Smith too. Who,
monster offensive line.
Yeah.
Our homeboy, our home team, Detroit Lions, horrible offensive line. But Barry just done what Barry could do. But bruh, Roland Martin is Clinton Portis. You ran behind you're running, you go to places and run in circles where you're gonna have an offensive line, no matter how good the linebacker is coming up against you, he's gonna get neutralized. And that's why he do the things that he do. And when he steps out from behind that offensive line, he gets drugged by anyone that's intellectually paying attention to what he say. The people don't ask him. I say, you a supporter? Ask him why he left why he don't live down the street from his mom and dad. Ask him why he left that part of Houston. I've been there plenty of times. I live in Texas. Ask him why he don't stay there. You want other people to stay, but you don't. Ask him why he don't ask his rich Democrat friends that are Black why they left the hood. He won't ask them. He won't say anything to them because they're the ones that give him a platform and butter his bread. And no one seems to have it escapes them to even you can shut him up by asking him that. He'd be talking, Roland, where do you live? I mean, I don't want your address. Where do you live? But Roland, where do you live? Well, where do you live? Cuero, Texas. Where do you live? See, you know what I mean? Because I'll answer you fast, and you from Houston, so you know where Cuero is. Where do you live, Roland? Roland, where do you live? That's it. Then you can just rub him right off. This man gonna sit up here, slap Black people in the face with Hillary Clinton sitting there, and the Negroes grinned and asked for more. When he asked her about some shoe shuffling buck dance, do she know how to do? And she said, no. He said, oh crap, you lost some of the Black vote right there. So, and they all laughed, the people behind him. Basically, he just said, you Negroes are so dumb. You know what I'm saying? That you will vote for her she can get some votes just by me about ready to show her this goofy buck dance. And they laughed. He slapped y'all in the face for Hillary Clinton, and y'all laughed. And this is why, I mean, anybody is paying attention with thinking that have any type of critical thinking should have saw that, wait a minute, man, what the heck did you just say to me? But they don't think like that because ideology trumps everything with them.
To be fair, no voting, no bucking.
Well, I mean, I was vucking before the voting and vucking before the vaccine. So I've been doing that.
You voted though, right? You voted though, right? Because you wanted to vote.
Oh yeah. My first vote was for Ronald Reagan. I've been voting my whole life ever since I was able to vote.
But no, I was joking about that. But seriously,
I know.
There's a reason why they think that they're that dumb. I mean, or collectively we're that dumb, and that's because of we're being presented through a lens that people like Roland Martin control. So they don't really explore Black people. They just ask people like Roland Martin about Black people, and then he tells them what he needs to hear to keep a career going, or what they need to hear to keep a career going. Because, okay, people like him benefit from what's called like the Black or African-American market. And if people start to look at Black people as culturally similar to white people, meaning that you don't have to do much different to entice them, then there's no need for people like Roland Martin. So, we have to appear different. We have to say, oh no, essentially they have to, he's kind of like a de facto translator to Black people, to people that don't understand that Black people speak English. If that makes sense.
Yeah. You gotta present Black folks and Black folk issues as completely holistically, separate. So that's why you need me to be the communicator or the mouthpiece of it. I'm trying to find I'm trying to find a clip of and it's like right here at the tip of my tongue. It's because Jason Whitlock just played it. And there was a clip of Roland Martin on stage with Hillary Clinton doing some little tap dance.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
And
he told the people, oh, you don't know how to do that? Oh, you just lost half the vote right there. And they laughed.
Yeah, and then Hillary Clinton puts hot sauce in her purse and makes a fool of herself because she listened to stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm desperately trying to find that clip. I can't though. I can't find it. I'll probably find it by the time we finished. I'll find it. But anyway, let me get to shout out to Black Wealth and Power. Says, GC, is it true that Black people are getting ran out of California? Our what were former Black neighborhoods now Hispanic? If true, why do you think that happens?
So I think that it does happen. I did, because my friend has a church there, I did go to my old neighborhood, and it is still largely Black, but slightly less than I remember growing up. And those that replace it are a number of different ethnicities, not just Hispanic. So I don't think that that's the case where I come from in Northern California. But I will say that's that I do hear things like that in Southern California.
Check the back chat, Bernard. Check the back chat, the private chat. It. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Game Changer.
Okay. All right. I think the primary reason for this, and it's inevitable. Well, one, people are just leaving, and this is something I learned separately. People are just leaving California, and that's because of pricing. Housing costs is exceptionally high here. And that's one reason why a lot of people leave and go to the South. And then another reason is because they're fat and we don't want them here. And so that's another reason why a large amount of large women are moving South, and they're taking their fat ass to a place where brothers embrace them. So there are a couple of reasons that people are leaving California. Nevertheless, I think that.
But what does that even mean to get ran out? That's what I want
to. Like from where I'm from, and somebody said he's from California, and I think that he may be from Southern California, where that is a thing, definitely. And maybe they're worried about violence from a now growing population. They're being overrun by that. Mexican population. But I think he's talking about Southern California, where they're closer to the border. And for whatever reason, the Blacks and the Latinos have trouble getting along in that particular instance. But that's not the case in Northern California, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But I would say that that the changing ethnic demographic in Northern California is going to be the same everywhere. And that is because, and this is quite unfortunate, that is because we have a very low NBBR, and until that increases, we're going to suffer from that problem slowly, that changing ethnic demographics slowly. I mean, we got to get our NBBR up.
What is NBBR?
NBBR is non-bastard birth rate.
Oh, okay.
We definitely have to increase the rate in which we birth non-bastard children. Of course, Latino has a higher, in fact, everyone has a higher NBBR than we do, but which means that their families will be able to sustain in any area for a longer period of time because they are birthing non-bastards to keep that going. Bastards and having a low birth rate in general is going to, your community will crumble if you keep at the NBBR that Black Americans have. No matter where you reform a community, you'll just be nomadic in a sense. Yeah, exactly. Omega said it is falling apart slowly because whatever you have now won't sustain to the next generation, because the next generation will be full of, it'll be fewer of you, and more of them will be bastards.
Well, I take issue, well, not issue, but the statement, the way that it was worded in the super chat, I'll try to bring it back up, where he said getting ran out of California. I think he's talking about Southern California like you described. I think he's talking about Southern California like you described, and he's talking about Mexicans coming over for the border and overpopulating, rather they're breeding or illegally coming over there, and then it's violence between Black people and Mexicans, Black gangs and Mexican gangs and all that, and blah 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 blah. And that it's like Black people get criticized for other people are being savages, and Black people don't want to live next to it. It's like Black people get criticized for moving, like y'all getting ran out of y'all neighborhood. Okay, it's called white flight when white people when Black people show up clowning, white people leave, they call it white flight. When Black people leave because somebody else showing up clowning, is like y'all getting ran out. Y'all scared, y'all weak, y'all that. But why white men don't get called weak? Because Black people moved in, and now little Timmy getting beat up at school, and their daughter then came up pregnant, and so it's like like these white men getting ran out. they cutting and running, they leaving. It's like so, but they get to go with dignity, and we call it white flight. But when Mexicans get savage on Black people, and then we leave, we don't get to go with dignity and call it black flight. It's like, nah, y'all some punks. But anyway.
Well, I mean, I don't really trust what news organizations, and I mean, because stuff like that is salacious, and it is provocative. Like if they could say stuff like, "Oh, nigga, they running you out," and then niggas start getting violence, then they cover the violence, like 8 Mexicans dead and 12 Black dead due to the rising violence and they that's what they do. Like they instigate. And then they cover the results of their instigation. So, I don't really go off of what the news media say. I will say that that's just that there, from what I understand, that there is a growing population of Mexicans and there's a shrinking population of Blacks in Southern California. Don't know why. I think that it's a NBBR thing combined with a new influx of family that comes daily, across the border. So,
Yeah. All right. Jay Freeman Blackman in the building said Roland is an example of leftists. They are only talking to tell you what to think, not get an understanding. Very well said. Very well said. Shout out to Jay Freeman Blackman with another super chat. Do appreciate you coming on through on the super chat and appreciate you. And shout out to Sir Tice who sent the $10 cash app. I don't even know if I thanked him for that before he left, but we got the tape. We got the tape of Roland Martin who's about to get up and chuck and jive tap dance with Hillary Clinton. We got the tape. Oh shit, hold on. I didn't mean to do that. Let's try to put that back right there. Okay. All right, let's roll it.
All right. That is it for us. I do got to ask you, do you know how to wobble?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you know how to wobble?
I don't.
You know how to wobble? You just lost the black vote right there.
Yeah.
Karen, the black folks in your staff need to teach you how to do the wobble. Trust me.
Can you show me how you do it?
I can show you how to do it. You gonna pick up some votes. Trust me.
But I gotta see it in order to know it.
You need some music. I don't really the music, but I'm just saying.
Okay, who can show me? Come on, don't be shy.
I told y'all Black Network we do a little bit different.
Well, you raised it. Now don't leave me hanging out
you
here.
Want to put my iPod on? I got music.
Maybe. Plug
this up right now.
What? What'd you say, GC?
You see that? No, I'm just saying. Yeah. You see that? That's what I was talking about when he said black people. We're a little different. We're not different. Yeah. We don't want to see that crap. We're not different in that regard. But I mean, he has to sell the differences between black people and white people. That's why they seem relevant. And the people in the back, look at how fat the bitch. But furthermore, more important than that, I think that they're just really following the lead because they're on TV. Kind of like the audience on Maury Povich and stuff. They might even be like a laugh sign, and a clap sign that somebody's holding up. But I think a lot of them like, oh, this is some foolishness. This is some foolishness. But Hillary don't know that because she's looking at black people through the lens that he presents.
Mm-hmm. And he asked the question like this.
I'm gonna step away. I don't want to see this crap. I don't want to see a.
Oh no, you've seen it. You've seen it. Yeah, you've seen it.
Walk away. Put some porn on. I don't want to see that.
Y'all know I'll put it on now. Secretary Clinton, it's a pleasure. Thank you so very much. Claflin, thanks you as well. Round of applause, please. Democratic presidential candidate.
Thank you, Roland.
Secretary Hillary Clinton.
He made sure it was the last question so he can have an excuse to get up and do it.
That's how I told y'all need the music. Don't let the ass Scott fool you.
Oh my goodness, these niggas. All right. So there it is.
Painful, bro. Painful.
Yeah. That was all kinds of bad. That was all kinds of bad. That was all kinds of horrible, man. That was all kinds of horrible. Let me get back to, oh shoot, I think I've lost my yeah, I gotta pull it. Oh wait, here, this it right? Nope, that's not it. That's it right there. Okay, hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. All right, got trying to reshare what we were watching and get that pulled back up while we're joined by Dirty Folks. Before we roll some more of the not so beautiful bean footage, Dirty Folks, got anything you want to weigh on here before we roll some more of the not so beautiful bean footage?
I want to say two things real quick.
Go ahead.
When I came up, I wanted to talk about the quality of appraisals.
Yes.
I mean, before the woman gays and felons buck dance. Here's my thing. Why don't I know that black people see themselves as the lowest 20%, but a little bit of networking gets you out of that. Like I remember when I was doing property management, I had friends that were appraisers, and I said, man, I need 225, and it was like, yo, I can give you 150. I said, no, you're not understanding. I need 225. And it was like, all right, this is what I need you to do. Go get you some mulch, put 2 plants right here, you know what I'm saying, tear down that closet, make the room bigger, I give you $225. Like probably the whole thing probably cost you like $500 to do. I'll give you $225. That is networking. That is and appraisers don't mind doing it. They get the same money regardless. I don't understand why people always. Well, I do understand because colors have to be the victim, which is my second point.
Yeah.
Why y'all heroes always the people that got their ass beat? Like black heroes are a culmination of. If I tell you where they got their ass beat, you could probably tell me your politician. Like, yo, got your ass beat on the bridge. Like John Lewis, got your ass beat marching. Martin Luther King. Like, y'all let these cowards represent you. And then they say cowardly stuff. And then everybody says, oh my God, look at the victims victimized. And then they show you a chicken dance. Like, I don't get
it. These niggas. But no, it's I forgot what I wanted to say now. But I forgot what I wanted to say, but yeah, shit, damn it, I had something at the tip of my tongue. Never mind. We just got to roll it. We just gonna roll the tape. But yeah.
You're living in a different reality.
What progress are you making by saying that?
What progress?
So what yeah. No, I remember now. The appraisers, like. I've always known that there's a certain level of flexibility with that shit. I've always known that. And like, I remember it was a time when I was, I was about to buy the first house I ever bought. It was over appraised. That's why I didn't buy it, because somebody was trying to, turn a bigger profit than what they should have. Somebody who was black, I believe did that same thing, that networking thing, and got somebody to give an appraise for more than what the house was worth. And it was so funny. Another appraiser, it was actually a realtor who said that house in that neighborhood, don't buy it, because it's at a level to where even if you do improvements, it's not going to get no higher, unless that's a house that you just want to buy and live in forever. There's like, don't buy it. But if you plan on selling it someday, it's like you're not going to get value for that unless the market just completely change. It's like, so if somebody come and they appraise your stuff and they appraise it at a lower rate, okay, and even if it's in the mind of the appraiser that they sense or think or believe that this appraiser thinks that this house has less value because black people are living in it. Let's say, even if that's the case, you got to bring out an appraiser. They give you what you know to be a bad appraiser. You can say, fuck you, fire them, and hire somebody else and get somebody else in there. It's like, you don't. So the conversation was predicated on, black wealth being, law. I forgot what they was predicating it on, housing discrimination and how that's affect black economics and blah, 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 blah. You don't. If an appraiser come in on some bullshit, you don't just have to bend over and take whatever they're giving you. If you know your house is worth $300,000 and they saying it's worth $200,000, you don't have to bend over and take that. Like, come on, like that's where it gets goofy to me. Now, that person who's doing it may very well be racist, but you don't have to bend to the dictates of this racist person. You can get somebody else to appraise your shit. It just is what it is.
In that. Okay. Do you know how inherent? Okay, hold on. You said you're Middle Eastern, right?
You're trying to.
Hold on. You said you're Middle Eastern, right?
I am, yes.
How would you feel? How would you feel?
Yes.
If you're selling your home, you've got a home that
right?
You put upgrades in it, and your home is worth $500,000.
Yeah.
And somebody comes into your home, and they see your photos,
right?
And they see your family, and then they go back and they go $350,000. You go, what the hell?
So you wait,
1 second.
To get people to be convinced that's happening.
It's actually
out of 1,000 appraisals.
Oh my God.
Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen? Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen?
You want to pull that up?
Tell
you want
me.
him to pull that
That's
up?
your world, though. Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen? Let's just say it happens.
It is a significant issue in America.
Oh my God!
And wait 1 second. And then when the woman, a black person should not have to remove their photos from the wall and remove black art and remove black books to have a white appraiser then come in and go, oh, it's actually 550. So one second. I'm going to show you how it impacts generationally.
Here we go.
So when you follow me here, because this is housing in America. When you then get that lower appraisal, you then cannot sell your house for the higher value, which then means you are not then taking those proceeds and being able to invest, being able to send your kids to school. And what I'm trying to explain to you is there is a world out here that for some reason you're like living in Unity world.
He predicated his argument with knowing. He said, if you know your house is worth X number of dollars, why would you accept that appraisal? Why would you? It's like they're telling you what your house is worth, and okay, I guess I got to sell it for that. If you know that it's worth more, if you know that you could look at the other houses in your neighborhood, and if your house is comparable to theirs, but theirs is worth $350,000 and yours is worth $250,000 based off that appraisal, like you know that appraisal is not right. You know what you bought it for. You know if the market went up or down since you bought it. Like those are things that you know. As a homeowner who's selling a house, those are things that you know. So if somebody is trying to do something wrong to you, or rather they're just legitimately wrong or legitimately racist, whatever the reason is, you don't. It's fucked up if they legitimately racist and that's why they did it. But to say that that's a long-term generational wealth argument of how black people are being robbed of wealth, and I'm like, no, like that's fuck that. That's a winnable fight. That's a winnable fight. Even if all that is true, that's still a winnable fight. You don't have to accept the appraisal and sell it for what they saying you have to sell it for. That's bullshit.
That ain't the real America,
brother.
I'm trying to get rid of that stuff.
You have the wrong guy here.
I'm trying to get rid of it.
Okay, good for you. I am as well. But you have the wrong guy here. And here's what I mean by that. So when you ask the question, what do you do if they appraise your house $350,000 less? Right? That's your question. Okay. I don't see myself as a victim. I stopped looking at myself as a victim a long time ago. And by the way, being Armenian and Assyrian, you know what a lot of people in the Armenian community do? You know what a lot of people in the Armenian community do? They sell victimhood mentality. I'm raised with that, which is the statement of mechka. I know you don't know what the word mechka means. Mechka means, oh, poor Roland. Oh, poor PBD. I don't see myself as a victim. And the other part is when you use one story as an example to divide and get people even angrier because out of 1,000 appraisals, this happened one time, I don't think you're unifying when you say a statement like that to say, hey, this is what's taking place all the time. But going back to it, so you left because you wanted better economic situation for yourself.
And I am curious on that. Like I gotta do a deep dive to dig the data on that so I can make sure I'm accurate on that. Because I don't know if he's accurate when he say it happens 1 out of every 1,000. If it does, then that's statistically meaningless. And that's people trying to trump up and advertise victimhood. Anybody else want to jump in on anything else that's been said?
Yeah, I'll say something.
Go ahead.
That's what stood out to you? Okay, this is what stood out to me.
Well, hold on. What did I say stood out?
The 1 out of 1,000, whatever. Okay, I'll just say what stood out to me because I forgot what you said that made me think that. This is what stood out to me. What's the war that these gay dudes and liberals have against men who read above a 6th grade level? This is what I mean. If you read articulately, if you can pass your SAT on the first try, then all of a sudden you're acting white, you're talking white. And I say that to the auspice of the thing that stood out to me was a white appraiser comes in. Both of my appraisals were black, both of them, and my contractor. Like black people can go and take that little 6-week course and become an appraiser.
Right.
This is the same problem I have with police. White police come. Black people are only people that don't allow people from their community to police their community. I I hate my best and brightest, and I need white people to take care of me, but white supremacy thing, it gets old. It just gets old.
Right. Right. I do want to know though, what when people like Roland Martin bring that up of how, the black person gets a lower appraisal, they change the pictures and then they get a higher winner, blah blah blah. Yeah, I want to know how much that happens. That's significant. It's a way to quantify the degree in which they're trying to find another thing to basically to preach the victimhood on. I want to know. I like to know the data on shit. I do. I like to know the data on shit, because in that way we having a real discussion about something that actually happens at a statistically significant rate. And if that's proven, and I got to deep dive into data on that, but if it's proven, then it's okay. Then I mean, then a real discussion can be had from there.
Listen to what you just said. Again,
I'm having a hard time listening to what you just said when you're saying
it's so fundamentally flawed, because when you say, "Oh my God," you see yourself as a victim.
You do.
No,
you're selling it as a victim.
No, I'm not. What I'm selling is a reality. What I'm selling is when this is, again, since you didn't, I guess you couldn't pull it up. Okay.
Oh, he did pull it up.
Okay, the Biden administration, the Federal Housing and Finance Agency, released 47 million appraisal reports to the public for the first time. The appraisals, which were compiled between 2013 and 2021, present evidence of a persistent, widespread practice in the home appraisal industry to give higher values to homes when the occupants are white and devalue them if the owners are people of color.
That's such bullshit.
Reports to the public for the Federal Housing and Finance Agency released 47 million appraisal reports to the public for the first time. The appraisals, which were compiled between 2013 and 2021, present evidence of a persistent, widespread practice in the home appraisal industry to give higher values to homes when the occupants are white and devalue them if the owners are people of color.
That's such bullshit. That's such bullshit. You know why?
Hold up.
Let me tell you why that's such bullshit.
They actually took the reports and showed the data, and now you call it bullshit.
Of course I call it bullshit.
So wait a minute. So you ask for the data and the facts.
No.
And now you give your opinion,
first of all,
because you don't like the facts.
Bro.
Come on, man.
Do you run a company?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so when you run a company, how much shit can I find in the OPEX? How much
in the what?
With OPEX. When I go into my balance sheet and I look at my expenses, my monthly expenses, what I'm paying for, rent, employees, benefits, workers' comp, I can give a number and say, we lost $280,000 this year. And it's like, oh my God, we lost $280,000. And then I open up the balance sheet and then boom, I'll see you're moving your face like you don't know what I'm talking about.
First of all, no,
when I see a data like this, tell me the whole story. To jump to conclusion with something like this without seeing the entire story is ludicrous to make a comment like that. But
analyzing the millions of appraisals by using census tracts as a proxy for neighborhoods and comparing communities with nearly identical housing stock. Two researchers found that the results showed a clear correlation. The higher the proportion of white residents in each community, the higher the appraised value of individual homes. They compared.
That's a different argument.
That's a totally different argument. A comp appraisal is totally different than somebody doing systemic racism. A comp appraisal is on the fact that for some reason black people double park by parking spots and put litter in a yard. That is a comp appraisal. That's totally different than saying that you have a bungalow house in this neighborhood, they have a bungalow house in that neighborhood, and your bungalow is worth less than their bungalow without any mitigating factors to that. That is a disingenuous argument by Roland Martin. Not only that, but I would argue, because like a lot of people, I made a couple of dollars as a mortgage broker during the early 2000s. I would argue that it was the lender, not the appraiser, right? Because the appraiser wanted to get to that number in order to be compensated by the lender, because a lot of times you wrap your appraisal in with the lender, so they get paid at the title at the closing table.
Oh, I thought all appraisers got paid up front.
Appraisers can get paid up front, but appraisers
they can
also, it's like $250 if you pay them up front, but it's like $500 if you wrap it into your mortgage, right?
Yeah, and they can shit. They then that way appraisers are motivated to overvalue your house. Yeah,
you understand me? That's why I get 25 on $150. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the whole game was the BC loan game. The BC loan game was okay. Now, if they had made the argument, you have a 670 credit score and you're white and you get a prime loan, and I got a 670, and because in the neighborhood they put me in a BC loan, which they say I have to have a variable instead of having a 15 or 30-year fix. That's a legitimate argument. I don't know if it's true, but there has been a history of red lighting in this country. There's never really been a history of aggregated appraisals in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's house about costs the same. You know what I'm saying? Cut your grass. Try that, people. Cut your grass. Don't double park by parking spots.
Yeah. You're comparing it based off this stock of real estate versus that stock of real estate versus white neighborhoods versus black neighborhoods. We can talk real easily about why you property values. That basically he basically made an argument that essentially said property value is lower in the hood, and it's like, yeah, we know that.
Here's the flip side of that, though. Here's the scam artist part, right? Because I'm not a criminal, but I've heard these things through the grapevine, right? Here's the other side of that argument. You live in a community. We're gonna say the hood because I heard the hood people do scams. I'm not sure because I'm not black, but you live in the hood. The comp for a 2-flat in the hood is, let's say, a $180. Your 2-flat is horrible. Like, people stole the water heater. You know what I'm saying? There's holes in the wall, whatever. You go out and spend a couple of dollars, put aluminum siding on the outside. They'll do a drive-by appraisal and give you the $180 off the comp, even though your property probably worth $30, and you'll be able to refi or get an equity line or whatever and dump the property and take the money. That's the other side of getting a comp. So there's negatives to it. There's positives to it. Allegedly, I wouldn't know because I don't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Similar data. See, again, you want to reject the facts. And what I'm trying to explain to you is
I am refusing to constantly have people give data without me having access to the entire thing for their own benefit to divide
so what you're saying is, in order for you need access to the 47 million home appraisals.
I'd love to
for
see
yourself.
I would love to see it.
Okay, guess what? It's a federal agency. Follow
I'd love to see it.
They started the show basically talking about the high crime in black areas. Obviously, those areas where there's high crime, the property value is going to be lower. That's why that the housing value is lower when there's black people, when on appraisals of black people houses.
But here's follow what?
For you.
Okay, so I'd love to see it. You know why? Here's the part. How often do you see data being used and we don't know the whole story? Both sides. How often?
Well, first of all, we see data out there, but what I'm saying, I'm looking at data, actual data, and I'm also looking at a reality. And here's what I'm saying to you. And again, this is what you, for some reason, you're not fully accepting. What is the most consistent way Americans have been able to actually build wealth? It has been through housing. That's been historical. And when you are black in America, this is not an opinion. This is not a perspective. It's a fact. What we have seen is when you have been unable to enter the housing industry, meaning covenants saying you can't sell to black people, then when you actually buy a home and they've been grossly undervalued, that then limits you from being able to sell your home at a higher value and now take the profits and then create a business and then be able to send your kids to college. And what I'm saying to you is, when that has been persistent, when you look at the appraisals, one, when you look at inability where you're buying a house, two, all of a sudden now you see a clear way how African Americans have been impacted. Not historically, but still in present day. And what I'm saying to you is, whether you are Democrat or Republican, I want that to change, because what I want you've
had 53 years. The Democrats
when Republicans were president and in charge, they didn't change.
Wait a minute. Democrats have had the black vote for 53 years. What have you done?
You're not even answering the question.
What's that?
On this issue right here, Roland, is Democrat, Republican, Independent. It is a systemic American problem.
You still haven't answered my basic question. I asked you about 27 out of 30 cities. You blame the state.
No. I answered the question.
What did you say?
I said to you, you show me high crime areas. I am explaining to you how they are high crime areas. And what I'm saying,
none of it has to do with their policies.
What?
High crime cities in America, none of it has to do with Democrats running.
And you can't even name the policy. What policy? Give me 3 Democratic policies.
The point is, you can't name the policy. This is your world.
It's
if I'm in the business world and you ask me a question,
ending cash bail, defunding the police, which is in our faces, refusing to prosecute categories of crimes, letting thousands of convicted felons out on prison release. The prison population.
So that right there. That's the reason for high crime in the last 20 years.
No, I'm just saying that's the article from from New York Times.
You still haven't answered.
No. I'm actually answering.
Yeah.
And here's the whole deal. First of all, when you talk about the issue of ending cash bail, that's actually only been very recent. 2, ain't no defund the police. The reality is you have seen a major increase in funding of police.
Democrats defund the police 2 years ago for an entire year.
That's a flat out lie. There were individuals.
You can say that with a straight look on your face.
I can tell you right now. I have actually talked directly.
So who came up with defund the police?
Who came up with it? Activists did.
Right. Activists were Republicans or Democrats?
They were activists. First of all, they hate both parties. You don't even talk to them.
But
I do.
But the Democrats in Congress were repeating it.
No. Stop. AOC, who else? You said the Democrats in Congress. How many Democrats in Congress oppose defund the police?
A lot. But I'm saying there were still some in Congress saying it. You're repeating the rhetoric.
You just said some. Hell, I could quote Louis Gohmert and some crazy stuff that he says and go, well, you know what? That's Republicans. The reality is this here. Democrats, Democratic mayors, Democratic governors, and yes, Democratic president have greatly increased funding of police in this country. Ain't even a question. So you can holler, the Democrats defund the police when it shows they've actually increased the funding.
Show the video.
They've increased the funding.
You asked for it.
Yeah.
You asked for it. Show the video.
Which video now?
Show the video I just emailed you. I just texted to you.
Because who we got? Don Lemon, Charles Barkley.
Democrats haven't said defund the police at all because they would never
say that.
No, you said Democrats haven't said it. Activists said that. Your word.
No. You said who created the phrase. I said it was activists that created the phrase.
Who came up with the concept of defunding the police?
Activists did.
And then which credible Democrats are defunding the police?
There were some Democrats.
No, not some. These are some heavy duty ones.
No.
Make
Hold
it bigger.
No.
Make it bigger.
When Democrats controlled Congress, how many votes they had?
Here you go.
When Democrats control Congress, how many votes did they have?
You like Nancy Pelosi?
When Democrats control Congress, how many votes did they have? How many votes did they have?
He's trying to talk past it. They're trying to pull up. They're about to pull up on the screen basically like a 7-minute video of prominent Democratic politicians who supported defund the police. They got them all on record doing it.
The point is this here.
Pause it so we can start from the beginning.
Did 223 Democrats vote to defund the police?
No.
Answer the question. Yes or no?
I want you to see this. I want you. You're asking. I'm showing you data because you asked for this.
No, you're showing me some Democrat who spoke.
7 minutes of Democrats saying defund the police.
No, not some. That's the most credible ones.
Health issues or policing in schools and all the rest, that perhaps we can shuffle some of that money around.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
Mayor Eric Garcetti saying, take some of the money from policing, about $150 million.
I applaud Eric Garcetti for doing what he's done.
Not only do we need to
No, that's two. That's two. That's only two.
Dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
That's just
yes, defund your butt.
Person.
Defund you.
Yes, I support the reallocation of resources.
3.
No, that's not defund.
You're taking the reallocating money is defunding.
He's talking over the thing, and I'll just say this will be the last thing I say on this. He's trying to say that they're not saying defund the police. They didn't use the word defund the police. They said reallocation of funds. Reshuffling of funds, as if they're not actually saying it. It's like that's the level of spin we was talking about with Roland Martin, where something as simple as him just agreeing that defund the police came from the Democrats, and that could you can't even simply agree on that, even though they got everybody all the way up to Kamala Harris supporting it. So that's just another goofy thing that he owned that he got caught on. I don't know if you got anything you want to say on that Nick Taylor, because they playing with them semantics. They went through and did that for a little bit. I kind of got to get up out of here. So we'll wrap this up. You got anything on that Nick Taylor and playing with the semantics?
I'm good. Y'all done hit all the bullet points, bro. I'm gonna let you go ahead and roll up out of here because I know you probably got stuff to do. But
Yeah.
I mean, but all you got to do is let the people talk. Shine a light on them. Give them enough. Just give them just a little line, a little bit of bait, and sit back and watch the show. And they'll always they'll trip over their own feet. You ain't got to trip them. Just throw something, give them something to trip over. They'll do it themselves. But I appreciate you, bro, for letting me up. Dirty folks, be cool, brother. And I'll catch y'all later. Y'all be safe.
All right, cool. Peace. You got any final words, dirty folks?
Yeah,
any final words?
I do real quick on the defund the police, real quick.
Yeah.
The allocation of the funds were going to go to social workers. So they were going to give you another mama in order to tell you that you shouldn't beat your girlfriend and please stop selling drugs. And if you do, my baby ain't never hurt nobody. So it'll because they weren't going to defund the police in communities that have policing. They were going to defund the police in your community because you asked for it, and you the ones that need to be protected from your neighbor's son the most. So, you know what I'm saying? Stop listening to these people, man. Anyway, but that's all I was going to say about that, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Peace. All right, y'all. We about to get up on out of here. I'd like to thank everybody who came through today, everybody who supported the stream, everybody who did anything to support the stream in any way, shape, or form, whether you like, share, subscribe, watching indifference, or whatever the hell. But I appreciate each and every one of you for coming on through. Shout out to Jay Freeman Blackman coming through hard and heavy-handed with the super chats. And Sir Tice hit me on the Cash App and do appreciate all of y'all. Do appreciate all of that. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I ain't even been speaking directly into the mic. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.